welcome to all the beautiful early birds. We will be starting very soon. Sit in your comfortable seats and get ready for this lovely Wednesday to feel like a Friday. For yours truly, Yugopnik Witch is here on the job. All the OGs are already in chat. I can see Fernando Lion, V2 Tax, Benji Lemon, and my voice is repeating double. Felici Brale, Aloha Hole Burns. Always difficult to pronounce because I want to say Aloha. Ufiji as always, and Yanagibashi. Welcome. We are starting very soon. Welcome, my beautiful child soldiers. It is Wednesday, the 12th of June, in between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. You will never know, for I will not dox myself. I can see a lot of OGs in chat. Thank you very much for joining me on this late period. It used to be the normal streaming time, but we have moved to accommodate the white European and the brilliant Australian and the camaraderie Asian far more by streaming 3 hours before whatever time it is now over where you live. Thank you immediately to Benji Lemon for the resub. That is 5 months. I can't believe that much time has fucking passed. Thank you to Chank Pecker. Another, I would love to see Chank Pecker, that is for sure. For the third month sub, feel strong, man. And there you Yanagibashi previously for the gifted sub. Welcome to all my beautiful child soldiers. Today we shall continue with our usual propaganda in the name of the great Gunnar Jezreeli state, which the Lord developed last time. We have added the fact that it will be a dictatorship by the white streamer class, which is extremely important theoretical add-on, for there is nobody greater to lead the great Gunners to their homeland than exactly the white streamer. For is there anyone who knows more about the art of gooning than a guy or a class of people whose whole job is to basically, at the end of the day, jerk you all off for a couple of fucking hours every fucking week? So, 9 a.m. over there in California. It is very good to see some Americans up in here at this time. Welcome, 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 everybody. One of the big problems of me trying to set up this Twitch space, if you want to use Zoomer terminology, is exactly the time zones. My time zone is very much so not really adjusted to being available for the majority of the American audience because, well, it's over a literal ocean. So I will have to, be satisfied with you early birds from the States or you disgusting Europeans, Asians, and Australians. But anyways, what do I have in store for you? Any personal news? Not really. Thank you very much. Not a fan of gender binary. I am not either. For the 5 gifted subs, base name, and 5 child soldiers for the cause. Very good. No, any like updates for me today? I had to go and do some shit around a car, my car and shit. I needed to drive my, like, it was a very weird situation. I had to pass the border, grab my aunt, and then drive her into the country that I'm in, which is not my birth country, so I can drive her to the very far airport so she can fly to Switzerland. Hi, aunt, if you're watching, my aunt is very based. She's one of the chatters, actually, sometimes watches, and it was a very wholesome moment today. I'm driving her, and she's like, but I don't get it. What are the trains? What the fuck are the trains? I'm like, Aunt, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, sometimes when you're streaming, you're like, oh my God, there's a train, and you start making funny voices like, choo-choo, we are going choo-choo. And it took me around 2-3 minutes because she's actually a very, very smart person to explain what the fuck is going on. But I can completely understand why a person over the age of 15 would be like, why is it when you are like, first of all, why are you even watching a guy live on Twitch? What the fuck? And second of all, why when they become subscribers, those subscriptions can pile up on each other and then a train goes? What the fuck is a train? Like, are we running a train or somebody? Like, are they gangbanging you, my friend, when they are subbing many times in a row? Are you secretly a OnlyFans boy? But yes, shout outs to Tetka Gopnik. Big love to Auntie Hugo. Yeah, she might even be in here lurking. Okay, don't embarrass her. She's a very, very smart lady, very beautiful as well. Anyways, let me snooze that ad. Jesus Christ, immediately wanted to play an ad. It's fucking insane. Okay, so with that being said, let us get right into today's beautiful topic. First of it is, I will kill Bed Empanada. Bed Empanada and me are no longer friends. This piece of absolute fucking shit made a video called An Idiot's Guide to Serbian Politics without inviting me. Therefore, as I titled here in my eloquent response, can't believe you didn't use me for this. I'm about to make a video about Australia, Greece, and Argentina just to spite you. But it's very difficult for me to spite this guy because he's literally from 100 countries. So, Yugopnik Bed Empanada split because he didn't use me to generate content. I will never stand this fucking Osama bin Laden looking praiser of ancient African gods who have created the white man, mother piece of shit. Okay? So we do not stand Empanada anymore. He is no longer based. Empanada removed from the conversation. Anyways, now to actually important things. Let us start our beautiful, beautiful day with horrible, horrible things. Say hello to your favorite Depression Now, depressionnow.com, brought to you by Amy Badman and the War and War Report. The bingo card is here as always, my beautiful, beautiful children. What do you think we will be talking about? Some hate crimes, some Western-backed bombs falling on brown children, some cops beating the shit out of students who have an ounce of self-respect. And maybe we will spice it up with a bit of global warming. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Depression Now, depressionnow.com with Amy Badman. For dear friend of the show, and at this point, a classic segment of Ugopnik Twitch. CMS, don't feel bad, Ugopnik aunt. I'm 40. Took me a while to get a lot of the stuff here. I still don't understand half the words like kek W, etc. Yes, funnily enough, I think I learned what kek means or before I learned what etc. means, etc. What outfit do we have today? Today we are going very basic, bro. We got that workers fit, that working class shit, even though it's made by Diesel, and I'm never gonna tell you how much money it costs. We got some good old jeans. We got the chains out because we don't want to fucking petrify our body. We're only wearing one ring now, and one of my good old goldies. And with that being said, oh yeah, the butt shot. There you go, butt shot. And now let's get right into this beautiful episode. Thank you very much. Not a fan of gender binary. One more time for the 5 gift subs. Okay, let's go.
This is funded by viewers like you. Please.
It's funded by depression, Amy. That's what it's funded by. But don't give shit to Amy, friend of the show. They how do you say this? They can't help all the news being fucking shit. Okay. What are we thinking of the fit? W fit, good fit, drip down. Okay. I really like this one because it's really LARPing the classic communist outfit shit. This shirt. Even though I would prefer one with long sleeves. I've never understood short sleeve shirts. It's a confusing thing to me. I want to sweat. I want to feel disgusting when I'm out because of my fit, because that makes me feel like I'm working for my lovely aesthetic, right? When you're like feeling comfortable in what you're dressed, it's like you want it to either feel extremely cold because you're underdressed or extremely warm because you're overdressed. That's how you appreciate the struggle. For us as communists know that all progress comes from struggle. And in this case, it's the class warfare between your body and your clothes. Who shall come on top? Shall we be nudists one day? Or shall we dedicate and give our souls and health to clothing? The class war shall answer the question and the dialectic shall be resolved. Now, as I said previously, welcome, I am Amy Badman, and this is Depression Now, depressionnow.com, brought to you by The War and War Report.
This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. Welcome to Democracy Now!
Exactly. In the summer, I wear blazers and sweat my ass off, but in the winter, I have to bring out the shorts. I got to show off the thighs. Exactly. No, you have no idea how much I can relate. And you know what else I can really relate on? Is fucking ads all the goddamn time. So you could either sweat and struggle to watch through some cringe that corporations want to push down your throat, or for $5 a month or for free through Prime, you can be comfortable in your own skin, both as a nudist and a dripped out fashionista, while enjoying my face and Amy's face for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Thank you very much. The ad will play in 1 minute. Now let's go. Amy Badman with depressionnow.com.
Now.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad have submitted a formal response to a United Nations ceasefire proposal.
Also, we are back. Look at the good old. It is green. That means it is cucumber. We are sucking on the cucumber today. Thank you very much, Zara Alex, for the 3rd month resub. Thank you very kindly. Welcome back, my beautiful child soldier.
For the Gaza Strip. A Hamas spokesperson said the group's priority is to bring a complete stop to Israel's assault on Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has yet to respond publicly to the U.S.-backed ceasefire resolution, which was approved by the UN General Assembly Monday. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Tuesday Netanyahu had, quote, reaffirmed his commitment to the proposal, unquote. This comes as Israel continues its unrelenting assault on the Gaza Strip.
They just want to milk. I mean, it's a disgusting thing what I'm about to say, but please, in context, do try to have mercy on me. They're gonna try and milk a couple of dead Palestinians before they comment on the ceasefire resolution, which obviously they will find a way to sneak their way out of, as they always sleazily do.
Among the latest attacks was an airstrike on a home in Gaza City's Zaytun neighborhood earlier today that killed at least 6 people. In Jordan, world leaders and top aid officials gathered Tuesday for an emergency humanitarian summit on Gaza. They were joined by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
I love Antonio Guterres, the man. Let's listen. I'm trying to make light of a very serious situation. I apologize if that's in bad taste, but we gotta laugh a bit and not want to fucking off ourselves every fucking second. Guterres, my favorite guy, who has literally every accent on the planet put into one. He sounds like a drunk Slovenian. Combined with a Brazilian, combined with a person that spent a lot of years in Namibia.
It's high time for a ceasefire, along with the unconditional release of hostages. I welcome the peace initiative recently outlined by President Biden.
Dude, he's literally the mixture of all human beings on planet Earth into one accent. I come in here and I immediately get strays of Slovenian. No. It's super base. Like, he has a base Slovenian accent.
The horror must stop. It's high time for a ceasefire, along with the unconditional release of hostages. I welcome the peace initiative recently outlined by President Biden.
We all love the peace initiative as well. Okay, I'm overdoing it now. It's a very serious thing. I'm overdoing it. Yugopnik, where were you when the Gaza ceasefire was instilled? Oh, I was watching it live, making fun of Guterres' accent and how he was proposing peace instead of peace.
And urge all parties to seize this opportunity and come to an agreement.
A new report by a UN independent human rights body finds both Israel and Palestinian armed groups have committed war crimes since Hamas's surprise attack on October 7th. The damning UN report accuses Israel of using starvation as a method of warfare, forcible transfer.
I got 2 anti-vape ads. That is why you need to become a fucking subscriber. Okay? None of this disgusting propaganda would come in your face. Instead, you're watching me and you're getting that sweet, sweet nicotine crave, okay? That sweet, beautiful nicotine crave. Instead, they're pitching you fucking health. The fuck even is health? Tomorrow, they might Gaza the shit out of you.
And intentionally...
What's your health worth then? ...directing
attacks against civilians. It calls on Israeli leaders to immediately end attacks, resulting in the killing and maiming of civilians in Gaza. End the siege, implement a ceasefire, and to pay reparations. The report also calls for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages held by Hamas. On Tuesday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin congratulated Israel's military chief over Saturday's raid on Nuseirat refugee camp, which freed 4 Israeli hostages. His call to Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant.
And let's not forget it caused the death of around 200 people, arguably the most unsuccessful military operation in human history, arguably. But then again, from the Israeli and American perspective, it is absolutely successful because it's like 200 extra dead Palestinians. I love it when those Pakistanis die. Oh, wait, Palestinians, you said Palestinians, Pakistanis, whatever. I was doing an American or Israeli military guy.
Came as the United Nations top human rights office said Israel likely committed war crimes during the operation, which killed at least 274 Palestinians.
Jesus Christ, 274. Like, how do you... That's like, you know, you have a school shooting and you go into the school, and the objective is find the school shooters. And you radio top command and are like, what do they look like? Just shoot everybody. And you walk in, and Billy comes down. He's like, oh, hi, I'm Billy. Cat. Oh, hi, I'm the teacher. Cat. The fuck? 200 and... You know how many people that are? You know how many people that are? Let me, like 300 people. Maybe there's a picture. This is how many people that is. This is how many people that is. Jesus Christ. Fucking... They don't call it depressionnow.com for nothing.
64 children were among the dead. Nearly 700 others were wounded.
A whole Balkan wedding, exactly, 300 people. A good one, a rich people wedding. But yeah. Fuck. More people than in this whole Twitch chat. Imagine if all chat was murdered. Okay, that sounds great, but you get... Imagine if good people were killed. I'm fucking... I just had to use that one.
Jeremy Lawrence, spokesperson for the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, said Israel's actions had left human rights workers deeply shocked.
Hundreds of Palestinians, many of them civilians, were reportedly killed and injured. The manner in which the raid was conducted in such a densely populated area seriously calls into question whether the principles of distinction, proportionality and precaution, as set out under the laws of war, were respected by the Israeli forces.
Israel's military says it killed a senior commander of Hezbollah during an assault on southern Lebanon Tuesday.
Dude, I don't care if you're like trying to pull out a nuclear missile that is ticking down and is about to kill 1 million people. Extracting and stopping that nuclear bomb from exploding and killing 1 million people, resulting in 270 casualties, would still be deemed an impossible fucking failure. But I guess they're led by the apartheid mentality of one of ours is worth 100 of theirs.
Talib Abdallah is among the most senior Hezbollah officials killed since cross-border fighting between Israel and Hezbollah escalated 8 months ago. Meanwhile, in the occupied West Bank, Israeli forces killed 6 Palestinians during a military raid on the town of Kfar Dan. Among those killed was the brother of a 12-year-old child who was killed by Israeli forces in Jenin 2 years ago. In Washington, D.C., peace activists with Code Pink
We continue with the classic extermination of entire families that are like in completely different geographical location. I don't even want to dunk on it anymore. It's like...
Did a public address Tuesday by National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. He was...
Wait, what?
In Washington, D.C., peace activists with Code Pink disrupted a public address Tuesday by National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
And this is like a perfect example of the difference between the Imperial Corps and where the Imperial Corps acts. Like, the maximum repercussion for somebody in the Imperial Corps, which is causing mass murder, is them feeling extremely embarrassed or getting, I don't know, a pie thrown at them, meaning all these politicians and billionaires, while over in the places being imperialized, it is literally like, oh, 70% of my family is pretty much dead. And there will still be liberals that will be like, no, we need to act in a civil manner, for we are a developed democracy. You can't just stand up and ruin a conference or physically assault a congressman with, I don't know, fucking apple pie in your face. Or a milkshake like back in the day. Or the Australians like to throw eggs. I always found that very based.
He was speaking at the American Jewish Committee's Global Forum in Washington, D.C.
Jake, thank you for being here with us today. We know...
Jake Sullivan, you are a war criminal. 15,000 people, 15,000 kids dead is not self-defense. Jake Sullivan, you are a war criminal. Jake Sullivan.
Code Pink activists Olivia DeNucci and media.
This is disgusting behavior. How dare they ruin this incredibly important conference? This is not free speech. This is actually silencing free speech of the National Security Convention. For they are not allowing them to raise their voice on, I don't know, more money for big rockets that are perfect phallic objects for them to stroke over casapated, masakirani, brate, kako se kaže, massacred fucking children.
Medea Benjamin were quickly removed from the venue. Their protest came a day after officers...
I love this lady, man. Fucking manifesting lots of great things for this lady. I really like this lady. She's fucking... Dude, if I am 1/10 of based at her age, I'm a great fucking grandpa.
Federal
or grandma, you never know.
Protective Service fired a salvo of pepper ball rounds to clear demonstrators who directed a tent encampment outside a San Francisco federal building to protest U.S. support for Israel's assault on Gaza. Elsewhere yesterday, President Joe Biden was interrupted by a protester who accused him of being complicit in genocide.
Jesus, and liberals would say, like, Jesus, how do you expect Biden to be on your side and change his policy as we push him further left when you denounce him so publicly? What is this radical behavior? There's like 15,000 at least dead children. I think we are allowed to be a bit, loud about this. No, but this is how you push them even further away. What about optics? Optics is no longer important when there are dead kids. Why am I explaining this to you, motherfucker? How are you different than a Nazi?
The main reason I'm here to say, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
You know what Joe Biden thinks about genocide happening? You know what he thinks? Yeah, it no longer opens when you write Twitter. It's fucking cringe. This is what he thinks. Jesus, this tweet is murdering. Holy shit. This is what Joe Biden thinks of your genocide. Legos of the Wired. Once he dies of old age, we'll push him to the left. Literally push his fucking grave, and they're gonna be like, this is praxis. I love this comment, putting in 2 zins after 11 beers, but I added it to a more European context because, I don't know, we fuck with zins, but not that much. Nitro's balloon at 3 a.m. right after that Jaeger shot is no joke, man. This is literally me. Maybe I should have taken that Nitros, or maybe I should have, dude. I've read like 5 articles that it's based. But yeah, this tweet is making the fucking rounds. This guy seems to be based now, I guess.
No.
President Biden was speaking at a Washington, D.C.
I love the lovely lady just doing her job on the right for people with vision disability. She has to like do something.
No.
President Biden was speaking at a Washington.
Zins are too weak, are they?
D.C. conference hosted by Everytown for Gun Safety. As the protester was led away, the crowd chanted 4 more years.
Folks, it's okay. Look, they care. Innocent children have been lost. They make a full point.
The protest during President Biden's remarks on gun violence came just hours after a jury in Wilmington, Delaware, found his son, Hunter Biden, guilty of 3 felony charges for illegally purchasing a gun at a time when he was using drugs. Hunter Biden becomes the first child of a sitting U.S. president to be found guilty of a crime. Special counsel David Weiss spoke after the verdict.
This case was about the illegal choices defendant made while in the throes of addiction, his choice to lie on a government form when he bought a gun, and the choice to then possess that gun. It was these choices
American right-wingers that literally fantasize about living the hunter life, trying to find a thing to be pissed off at him about. But no, also fuck Hunter because he's the son of a disgusting fucking genocidal freak who hasn't spoken up about it either. So, yeah. But still, yeah, kind of based.
and the combination of guns and drugs
I hate being an American right now. Imagine getting gaslit constantly that this election is so important. Does it happen like all the time with normies? Because I think compared to the previous election, we have very much so, yes, I have a tiny penis finger. Like in the online left space, at least, we have very much so killed off that argument. I can't even see the most lib-coded debate bro types pushing openly for this is better, quote unquote. But yeah, constantly from even normie lefties. Jesus fucking Christ. I was hoping that even normie lefties, like even Sotsdems and shit, would be like, dude, no. I cannot in my right mind vote for somebody who is actively participating in mass murder. It really does happen a lot, the 34 Zid. Jesus, okay. This election is the most important yet, like as if voting is going to change anything. No, Karama. Radical centrism. No, it hasn't changed, Gay Lennon. Oh, okay. Great to see that America is just, well, America.
Made his conduct dangerous. Second, no one in this country is above the law. Everyone must be accountable.
But this country is above the law. Yeah! Sorry, headphone users.
For their actions, even this defendant.
A date for a sentencing hearing has not been set. Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison, though a strict sentence is unlikely, and Biden could avoid jail entirely. In the Gulf of Aden, at least.
I mean, the most privileged daddy's boy. Let's see what happens, eh? Let's see what happens.
49 people have drowned and 140 others are missing after a boat carrying African asylum seekers sank off the coast of Yemen. At least 6 children are among the dead. The refugees had been fleeing violence, poverty, and the impacts of climate change in the Horn of Africa. The UN's International Organization for Migration reports nearly 100,000 asylum seekers arrived in Yemen last year, many of them bound for Saudi Arabia and other wealthier nations. That's more than triple the number who made the perilous crossing just 2 years prior. Malawi's vice president and 9 members of his...
Imagine when Saudi Arabia, people are like, oh man, these refugees, they just want to come and take our shit. You know how bad their situation is when Saudi Arabia is the preferable place to stay? And sure, you can make arguments, oh, they come from poor countries where there's little information, so they might not know that much about Saudi Arabia, so they're uninformed. No, dude, like... Once they enter countries with a fucking internet connection, they can check where they're supposed to go. And the constant westernized culture of the entire world does pitch the West as like a place where life can be better, you know? But yeah, imagine choosing Saudi Arabia because shit is so bad back home.
Entourage have been confirmed dead after their
plane...
Shows
how bad shit at home is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Crashed in a mountainous...
Speaking of very bad shit... You can either be a baddie and not watch ads, or you can be bad and watch ads. The difference is small between baddie and bad. And you know what the difference is? $5 a month or free through Prime. The choice is yours. Communist propaganda or capitalist products. The ad will start in 1 minute, and you have a chance to decide or to gift someone else and save them from this experience. Be a baddie or be bad. This is arguably my cringiest fucking pitch yet. But everybody wants to be a baddie, so I guess I put a price on it.
Region of the Southern African nation. Saulos Chilima had served as Malawi's vice president.
Lagos, the wire, the difference is the huge ass I got. Okay, great.
Since 2020 was expected to challenge incumbent President Lazarus Chakwera.
There we go, immediate baddies, knife emoji, 4th month baddie, Consuelo, 3 months baddie. That's how we fucking roll, baby.
election.
Fucking baddies in chat, man.
Wonderful. A new child
horn
soldier,
dogging me up,
subscriber.
dude. I'm horny on Maine for you baddies, man.
Scheduled for next year. The Biden administration's lifted a ban on arms shipments to the Ukrainian military unit known as the Azov Brigade, a former militia with ties to far-right hate groups. The State Department said Tuesday...
Ties to far-right hate groups. They are the far-right hate group, bruv. Bruv. What is this clip? But this country is above the law. Yeah! I have no idea what I was trying to do there, but thank you for clipping it. Thank you very much to another baddie, Danny Coat 123 for the sub.
Militia arms shipments to the Ukrainian military unit known as the Azov Brigade, a former militia with ties to far-right hate groups. The State Department said Tuesday...
But it is true it's a former militia because now it's for a while it's been an official part of the Ukrainian military.
Thorough review turned up no evidence the brigade's members have committed human rights abuses. The Azov Brigade, a former militia with ties to far-right hate groups. The State Department said Tuesday a thorough review turned up no evidence the brigade's members have committed human rights abuses. The Azov Brigade was founded in 2014 by a
What, since forever or since they've been integrated into the army? I don't know about since they've been integrated into the army, but I can show you little clips of them catching people on fire, decapitating people, cutting their hands off, shoving it into their mouths. There's a very classic one where they crucified a guy and then they lit him on fire. Like, why are you going out of your way? Like, why are you going out of your way to defend us? Like, what? Just be quiet about, the fucking death squads. Just be quiet about the death squads.
Vowed neo-Nazi and white supremacist. Meanwhile, delegates from 90 nations are set to gather in Switzerland this weekend for a Ukraine peace summit, though Russia and key nations...
These fucking idiots literally handed Russia a plausible cause for invasion with the fucking theater massacre, or what was it? When they burned people alive in the fucking building. Like, from every perspective, these guys bad. Every perspective. If you're extremely pro-Ukrainian, you want these guys to be removed from any fucking equation because they paint the whole Ukrainian nation in filth, right? And if you're pro-Russian, obviously, I mean, there it's pretty obvious, right? So I think it's in everybody's best interests here. Centrist Yugopnik walks into the room. It's in everybody's best interest to get rid of Azov, like, immediately.
Including China will not be participating.
And in a military construction, it's arguably easy. Like, just move them to all sorts of different detachments, and just end their detachment. That's it.
Swiss President Viola Amherd on Monday outlined the summit's goals.
We want to discuss ways for comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine based on international law and the UN Charter. We want to...
Russia also says Nazis, bro. Of course they do. That's kind of my point. Like, from a completely centrist perspective, get rid of the Nazis in your army because it looks fucking really bad for your fucking armies, man. The fuck are you doing? It's just, like, dumb. It's stupid. I'm not adding any ethics to this. I didn't even say, take them out behind the shed and shoot them or shit like that. You know? I'm like, dissolve their regiments. Thank you very much to Xi Jinping for the gifted sub. As we all know, whenever we get a gifted sub from an anonymous gifter, what does that mean? That means that we must salute to the great Xi Jinping, which has just given us a bit of money. And salute to the great Xi Jinping, we shall. What the fuck? Where's the playlist? Why does fucking ruin everything? God fucking damn it. Where's the song? Okay, thank you very much, Xi Jinping. We salute in the name of the great donor. CCP in my mouth. And CCP in my mouth. CCP in the mouthy. Thank you very much, and apologies if I missed Danny Coat, another baddie, 123, for the sub. And again, thank you, CCPP and CGPP Ping.
To develop a common understanding for a possible framework to reach this goal, and we want to decide on a schedule together, how both parties can be tied into a future peace process.
The pharmaceutical giant Johnson & Johnson has agreed to pay $700 million to settle lawsuits brought by more than 40 state attorneys general over its asbestos-laced talcum powder, which has been linked to cancer. As part of the settlement, J&J will permanently end the production, sale, and marketing of all products containing talcum powder. In 2018, a Reuters investigation found the pharmaceutical giant knew as early as 1971 that some of its talcum powder contained dangerous levels of asbestos.
Right? Another thing to be scared of. Another thing to be scared of. Hey, you have a beautiful baby. Let's buy a powder to put on its cute little butt so it doesn't hurt itself. Oh, there's asbestos in it now. When you buy baby powder, you should be like, does this have asbestos? New fear unlocked. Thank you very much, DepressionNow.com. And thank you very much to Apprentice Pint Man. There is no such thing as an apprentice with a pint. You become an expert the second you have one. Thank you very much for the gifted sub, my beautiful child soldier.
But covered up its findings about the deadly carcinogen. And a federal judge in Tallahassee has struck down Florida's ban on gender-affirming care for minors, ruling the law unconstitutional. U.S. District Judge Robert Hinkle also struck down a provision that erects barriers to adults seeking transition care. In a 105-page order handed down Tuesday, the judge writes, quote, "In time, discrimination against transgender individuals will diminish, just as racism and misogyny have diminished. To paraphrase a civil rights advocate from an earlier time, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice," he wrote.
Unless you embrace barbarism and pure fascism, then it doesn't. But yeah.
The legislation was...
You could argue that then, you know, the fascist project is always destined for doom. But then again, history is pretty long, and they can last for a long time.
Was signed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis last year. DeSantis has promised to appeal the ruling. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in New York, joined by Democracy Now!
Thank you very much, Amy Badman from DepressionNow.com. DepressionNow.com, joined by Amy Badman and The War and War Report. Very nice, very nice, very good, very good. I saw this by Majority Report. Right-wing media enters its WTF era. Depressed communist racism and misogyny has not diminished, though. I mean, compared to the 1910s, maybe. It's a very slow process in the West, at least. America's FDA approves many things that are banned all over Europe and East in general. Yeah, man, like, it doesn't even need to go through the FDA. Like, the shit that they put in your food that is allowed to be put in your food is absolutely unhinged. His example is food coloring. Exactly, Dr. Sleepy Fist. This is going to be really long and good, or it's going to suck and be short. That is actually quite brilliant, Lagos. That was beautiful. That's going to be the quote that people quote on you after you pass. You're going to be like, yeah, remember Lagos when he said history's going to be really long and good, or it's going to suck and be short. Very good, very good. I have some smart motherfuckers in chat, don't I? Some smart motherfuckers. Why Fanta looks different in the U.S. Come on. Fanta looks different. What, they had to make it more orange? Do you guys use high fructose corn syrup? No. Like, I drink and I smoke these fucking nicotine pens, but where I draw my line is high fructose nicotine syrup. It's always funny to me, like, the people that, you know, are very straight edge, or at least pretend to be, and, like, shit a lot on people, you know, doing drugs or drinking, which are obviously bad things that you shouldn't do, but then they, like, order 3 burgers from McDonald's and drink soda absolutely every day. And basically, they're criticizing you for consuming shit that is very bad for you, which is correct, as they consume other things that are arguably as bad for you, but they're just not socially defined as bad for you because we haven't reached that level of, if you want to call it, enlightenment, etc., etc. So It's basically a self-denying mechanism. They want to be in denial that they are living a healthy life without actually leading one, but by saying, oh, I'm leading a healthier life than you because I'm not doing these things that my mom told me are bad. A lot of food is more colorful in the U.S. I studied food production, and even here we learned a ton about the U.S. kind of production because we needed context for all the things that are banned from usage in the EU. Jesus Christ. Did you even need to study this? This is fucking unhinged. Nah, dog, drugs are good. We should democratize ownership of all marijuana and create state mandated hot box sessions. Hey, if you elect me into leadership, that's the direction it's going to go. The liberation of all drinking classes. How is farming in the Balkans, like everywhere else, fucking cucked by large corporations and massive landowner farmers?
Sebastian Gorka a moment ago, basically saying that Donald Trump, or his guest was saying that Donald Trump is going to appeal to black people now because he's a convicted felon. Gorka, I think, is probably feeling pretty good these days because he's just about to lose one bit of his competition. Wasn't he Bannon's guy? And then he got...
Thank you very much to one of the biggest supporters of this channel and a VIP on chat, Yana Gibashi, for the gifted sub, as always. Thank you, Yana. I salute.
That's sort of like cut loose from the administration before Bannon did. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. I think Gorka was one of Bannon's guys. And...
But didn't you hear, like, it was kind of funny. Like, I have to admit, like, I don't know if YouTube's going to have it, like 50 Cent... Pelosi, Trump. Yeah,
heading into another election. So, have you made a decision about who you're going to support?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
I can't find it, but basically 50 Cent says Trump is going to be more relatable to black people, and they're like, why? And he's like, because he's got a charge against him. And I was like, Jesus Christ. 50 Cent, holy fucking shit, dude. Somebody can get me the fucking clip. I'd love to play it. More proactivity, chat, goddammit.
I don't know if they had a falling out after.
50 Cent is trolling 24/7. Exactly, Rotterdam. Like 50 Cent's Instagram is like peak content. You don't beat that shit.
But I think there's some real questions as to why Steve Bannon's going to jail. If I was Steve...
50 Cent is like peak millennial humor, okay? Like 2007 millennial humor.
Bannon, I'd be worrying about Gorka, my competition.
Just a bunch of posts of him joking that he would never go to a P. Diddy party because he doesn't want to get fucked. Like 2007 millennial humor. Still funny, I'm sorry, but it is.
He basically says it here almost, that they are worried about his show, The War Room, on Real America's Voice. I don't know where any of that stuff is.
That is not from the War Room's lips. That is from the Morning Joe and their top legal analysts at MSNBC.
What does this fucking cunt have orthodox, what do you call them in English? Paintings, but of saints. He has the cross, but also this. Icons, thank you, Jesus Christ. Icons. Why is this dude LARPing orthodoxy, man? What? We have found a more base Christianity. They wear funny robes. And they're white.
She says it right there.
Bro, look up the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, my bro.
The purpose of this is to shut down this show because this show has become such a powerful platform for MAGA and for President Trump. They're saying
this is the first time I'm hearing this show ever. This guy fell off. This guy fell off so hard. He was literally the main, like he was America's Dugin. He was the main theoretician of the new right and slow seeping of proper, real, racialized right-wing rhetoric into the mainstream. And now he's running the war room. Holy fucking shit, man. Holy shit.
Senate.
Ufigi got me the clip, I guess. Wait, let's see.
The Senate has failed now to.
Is this here? Yeah.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election?
Thank you, everybody.
For both of you.
I see them identifying with Trump
Why do you say that?
because they got RICO charges.
Motherfucker said what? Dude said what? I reckon. Okay, don't whip out that fucking gun, 50 Cent. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck yeah, man. By the way, we're very close to 13,000 followers. It's super base. I hope it's not bad luck. 13. My mom's born on the 13th. She's the biggest luck I've ever received. Many men have RICO charges.
The quiet part out loud. This is what all the lawfare is about. Okay, I want to reset about yesterday. Not about me or not about President Trump.
Where is Real America's Voice? Do we know, where does this play?
It's like a niche.
It's his own, is this like a Daily Wire?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can get it on cable or on a cable package.
I love that's like the last ditch effort of making a dying show work. Like if I was here, like the reason we have under 400 viewers right now when it's like fucking 8 a.m. in America, and it's absolutely understandable that we have this much, and I'm very happy with the number actually. But the reason we have only under 400 viewers right now, chat, is because the establishment is scared of the show that we are developing here. They are censoring us left and right. But sir, Twitter just gave you like a +2 partnership in like 4 or 5 months that you've been streaming. No. We are being censored. It is not the fact that we are creating extremely cringe, shitty content here that nobody really cares about, and not that you are extremely toxic and nobody wants to fucking touch you, and therefore no big politicians want to come on your show and push it forward. No. It is because of censorship, my brothers.
Annon's on here.
And that, but if you do it enough times, you get like some of the unhinged, very fringe guys to watch your shit. You know those like fringe guys, like really fringe guys? You know what I'm talking about? Both on the left and the right, there's like really fringe guys. That like that's their whole personality. They're fringe. And they will literally become your entire audience. They will watch your fringe shit, you know? Just like that guy that used to be base and then lost his fucking mind about vaccines. What was his name? Help me out here. I don't fill my brain with names I find unnecessary. Jimmy Dore, thank you. Yeah, Jimmy Dore. Yeah, like just, but now he has a very large audience of just fringe guys, like fringe left and center and some reactionary dude. Like that's his thing. And he makes fucking banger bucks, you know? You got like, fuck you, Lagos.
Charlie Kirk is on.
I don't know. Jimmy Dore was never based. I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, I watched like 10 clips of the dude and it was like, oh, our guy. I remember when there was like a whole rhetoric of if Jimmy Dore was our guy, and then he was quote unquote our guy for like a year, and then COVID started and then we're like, okay, not our guy. Holy fucking shit.
Here, Jack Posobiec's on here.
Streaming cable and satellite.
Okay, and so this show, they're afraid of this show?
Yeah. I mean, it's a seed. It's a seed. You don't need to be having millions of viewers for the establishment to be worried about it. He's enlightening people one viewer at a time.
This is what happens when you're over the target.
Exactly.
Is there more to this?
It's a little place.
This is what all the lawfare is about. Okay, I want to reset about yesterday. Not about me or not about President Trump in regards to his legal, but about what's really happening here, this coalition. President Trump goes out to Arizona for the first time in 2 years, 20 months, and I think the first time in 4 years to Phoenix. Charlie Kirk is going to join me at the bottom of the hour. Dream City Church. It's got to be 5,000 or 6,000 people, it looks like. It is massive. President Trump, full spectrum dominance, and then does the Q&A at the end.
Talking about full spectrum dominance, the military advertisement industrial complex is about to dom the shit out of you with consumables that you do not really need. They will brainwash you into eating, buying, working, slaving. But what the fuck is that? What was that like thing? The fuck was it? Why did a like thing appear here? Did you see that? Am I tripping? Dude, a like thing appeared right here on my screen. Like a like bubble. I am crossing myself right in front of you. What the fuck was that? I don't have anything added in OBS for that. What? But anyways, the ad already started, so I'm not doing the pitch. But yeah, become a sub if you want to. But what the fuck was that bubble? You see? Just like Steve Bannon, they're trying to censor us with weird like bubbles.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. Subscriber.
If anybody goes back, I don't know if you can go back in clip and see that. I have no idea what that is. Thank you very much, Filiusen, for the resub for 4 months especially. That's base shit. Thank you, my beautiful child soldier.
And I told Jason and Chung and the team yesterday, I thought that Q&A was magnificent. The cross-section of America and their concerns and the smart questions, and President Trump's response unbelievable. You had Dr. Phil come in, who did the cold open at the beginning. Dr. Phil.
Pause it. Maybe, but like, and it showed up right over my face. So how is it centered here? Like, maybe my camera has an option for the camera effect? Does the camera like? Camera like? I don't think it. I don't think the camera has that fucking option. Very strange shit. Okay, sorry for the fucking rant. We're going back, but the fuck was that? Yeah, clip. Okay, let me see. Sorry if this is like boring for you, beautiful motherfuckers, but this is very weird for me. They will brainwash you into eating, buying, working, slaving. Yeah, you see? So why did it happen? You see this? You see it, right? The fuck? Working, slaving, buying, working, slaving. But what the fuck is that? What was that like thing? The fuck was it? Why did a like thing appear here? Ah, there you go. Okay, so the camera does it. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let me see. Okay. I didn't know it could do that. I had no idea it could do that. Are you on a Mac? They made like an emote thing. Really? Okay, thank you, Mac. You just sold fucking wool hunger. Can I do other things? Oh, wow. What about this? No, it doesn't do that one. Okay. Jesus. That freaked me out when it happened. Thank you very much, Filiusen, for the resub.
The time.
This is what happens when you're over the target.
Exactly.
Is there more to this?
He just, yeah, it's a little place.
This is what all the lawfare is about. Okay.
What? What the fuck? Dude. Why do I get bubbles for the peace sign? And what if I do a heart? What happens? Come on, heart. Or do I need to do the zoomer heart? Or Jesus Christ, I'm boomering the fuck out over here, dude. Sorry, this is more important than deep political conversations. Tough, dude. It's kind of cute. I'm gonna use that kind of. Oh, when like for the next sub, I'm gonna be like, oh, thank you so much. For the next 10 subs, every time it happens, I'm gonna do, oh, thank you so much, and I'm gonna say mutts, even though it's a tiny little bit racist, I feel like, but I'm gonna say mutts anyways.
I want to reset about
supportapple.com. Wait, ZFH with the links today is fucking killing it. Use reactions, presenter, overlay, and other effects when video conferencing. Hearts, thumbs down. Rain.
Wonderful. A new child soldier.
Or it can rain.
Subscriber.
Oh, there you go. Oh, thank you very much. Crows8965. Thank you very much. Jesus, it has to be like this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, now I fucked myself up the arse and not in a good way. You guys are going to milk this.
Out yesterday. This is what all the lawfare is about. Okay, I want to reset about yesterday. Not about me or not about President Trump in regards to his legal, but about what's really happening here, this coalition. President Trump goes out to Arizona for the first time in 2 years, 20 months, and I think the...
Dude. It's fucking lasers, dude. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, dude. Mac dominates as always. The PC subhumans shall be defeated. Can we has healthcare? No, you can has lasers.
I want to reset about yesterday. Not about me or not about President Trump in regards to his legal, but about what's really happening here, this coalition. President Trump goes out to Arizona for the first time in 2 years, 20 months, and I think the first time in 4 years to Phoenix. Charlie Kirk is going to join me at the bottom of the hour. Dream City Church. It's got to be 5,000 or 6,000 people, it looks like. It is massive. President Trump, full spectrum dominance, and then does the Q&A at the end. And I told Jason and Chung and the team yesterday, I thought that Q&A was magnificent.
Listen, Bannon, I disagree. Okay, I hope they make this an even bigger thing. I hope like modders can add shit to this, because this would be really cool. Like unironically, that would be cool. If like we can add emojis and like I do a certain thing, like flip off, and then a little like saluting you Gopnik pops up. That would be sick. Oh no, what have we uncovered? That would be sick. Yeah, bro. That would be sick. Lasers. This is just turned into, and if we ever get like a dono sub, I'm gonna be like, yeah. No, not two. Jesus. Yeah. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm stopping. Okay, shit, don't fucking murder me. Okay.
Dream City Church. It's got to be 5,000 or 6,000 people, it looks like. It is massive. President Trump.
Gotta change the PNG file it's drawing from. Maybe I can find it, yeah. This is cool enough that I will ignore you're a Mac user. Okay. Another Mac supporter earned. Which is very funny. I literally use a fucking Android phone, right? Proof is that no iPhone can flip. But I use a MacBook, which are extremely incompatible. It's like, I want the worst of all the worlds.
Full spectrum dominance, and then does the Q&A at the end. And I told Jason and Chung and the team yesterday, I thought that Q&A was magnificent. The cross-section of America and their concerns and the smart questions. And President Trump's response, unbelievable. You had Dr. Phil come in, who did the cold open at the beginning. Dr. Phil.
Oh, pause it for a second. You know, that reminds us, we had a clip of Dr. Phil. But apparently he is going after people who are using some footage from his interview on YouTube. I don't know. We'll put it up there. I don't know if I want that. I don't know. I don't know if I want the strike before the debate, but we will probably put it back up.
His interview with the former president of the United States, he's putting a copyright claim on. Yeah.
Strike, are you streaming on YouTube? Majority Report. Jesus Christ, that's fucking cringe.
Okay. This is just so stupid in this country. I mean, like that is as newsworthy as it possibly gets.
I mean, not to get too far afield, but Glenn Greenwald's Rumble show recently did a claim against
I saw that. What was that about?
I don't know what's going on. I imagine it's not Glenn and somebody at Rumble, but that is a big problem in the free speech realm, and it'd be nice if maybe, and you could win a lot of content creators over to your side if Congress did something to force fair use to be honored by these streaming
100%.
companies. Because it's just a slap,
but,
like
you know, like Jesus said, oh, wait, not Jesus. I'm sorry. I get confused because there's so many pictures of Jesus up there. There are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences, says Stephen K. Bannon. He's got a quote of himself right in front of him. There you go. I like that. Right next.
What? Of him? Oh, legendary.
Next to Jesus. Multiple Jesuses. In fact, it's all Jesus.
Some of them Orthodox. Not my culture. I'm going to be very toxic with this.
Up there, except for the biggest sign, which is quoting him.
Jesus would have wore 2 polos all the time.
Should we put love thy neighbor like thyself or my quote up there with the Jesus pictures? My quote. Go ahead.
50 Cent. They ask him, why are all black men voting for President Trump? Yeah, David Sachs. President Trump flew from Phoenix to the Bay Area. David Sachs, one of the most influential venture capitalists and finance guys, very close to Thiel in that crowd, very close to Elon Musk, has a big podcast. David Sachs, and I've got up, I don't know if my team has it, David Sachs goes on Twitter and literally gives, it looks like a 10,000 word, very well thought through. He calls it the A/B test. Very sophisticated. I need grace and motive.
Oh, no, we're reading this, dude.
Very well thought through. He calls it the A/B test.
David sucks. Oh, no, David Sachs. David sucks some of this fat fucking uncircumcised dick. David Sachs. David Sachs. Okay, hello, free speech. Entrepreneur, San Francisco bestie with the All In podcast. So what am I looking for exactly? Why I'm backing President Trump. Where is it? Okay, it's right here. I'm blind. Why? Look, shut the voice. What? Brothers, why I'm backing President Trump, brothers. As many press accounts have reported, I'm hosting a fundraiser event for President Donald J. Trump at my house in San Francisco this evening. Over the last couple of years, I've hosted events for presidential candidates, brothers. Ron DeSantis, Vivek, blah, blah, blah. But today, I'm giving my endorsement to our 45th president, brothers, Donald J. Brothers Trump, to be our 47th president, Agent 47, 47 hitmen confirmed, new DLC. My reason rests on 4 main issues that I think are vital to the American prosperity, security, and stability. Okay, first is the economy. President Biden took over an economy that was already recovering strongly from COVID-induced shock of Q2. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Biden did this despite early warnings from blah, blah, blah. As a result of Biden's inflation, average Americans have lost roughly 1/5 of their purchasing power. Yes, capitalism bad, but no, it's actually my guy not in power versus capitalism that is causing this. It's no different for our federal government, which now must devote over $1 trillion annually. Okay, this is just nerd shit. Foreign policy, Ukraine war. Why you giving money to Ukraine? The border. Why too many browns coming into country? Lawfare? A bedrock of the political stability we've enjoyed in America over the last 250 years. America, sometimes I forget that you are literally older than the public toilet, literally in front of my house. Younger, I mean. Merrick Garland took a long look at the January 6th situation and didn't see a path to prosecute Trump, even after a one-sided congressional committee, and then they prosecuted him on something else. So, conclusion, the A/B test. The voters have experienced 4 years of P. Trump and 4 years of P. Biden. In tech, we call this an A/B test. In everything, you call it an A/B test. We just call it an A/B test. You're not special in tech. With respect, that's when you know your audience is fucking monkeys, man. With respect to economic policy, foreign policy, border policy, and legal fairness, Trump performed better. He is the president who deserves a second term. Why did I waste all of our time by reading this? Imagine saying that a billionaire is going to increase your spending power instead of making you pay more. Yeah, please listen to Billionaire Man and 75,000 likes. 75,000, and Secular Talk walks in with his big fucking dick and says, I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you though, or sorry that happened. And this fucking cock, Jesus Christ, man. Okay, fail son. Okay, thoughtful. Son of a bitch. God damn it. Still has that fucking cover photo, man.
Very sophisticated. I need grace and Mo to get that out there. Right? Everybody has to read this. One of the smartest guys in the country.
Very sophisticated. Did you Did your small brains understand the great levels of sophistication here? A/B test, Hugo, because there's only two options. Illusion of free choice.
And then you have Russell Brand.
Right, that's the problem with the A/B test, because it limits actual choice.
Buddhist now.
Because it considers that actual two units that you're comparing exist in a vacuum. A/B testing, for a reason, exists only in hard science. You can't apply it to social sciences because, again, the things you're A/B testing have too many. I don't even want to go there.
Born again, just baptized in Christian faith. Russell Brand. Russell Brand says flat out, his whole show is built upon freedom. Remember, he's a hardcore lefty. His whole show, he transformed during the pandemic. He's got one of the biggest podcasts in the world. What does Russell Brand says? To save democracy, to save your freedom, to save your liberty, you got to vote for Donald Trump.
Can you pause it for a sec? So it's funny that he just mentioned David Sachs and then Russell Brand. Is David Sachs on Rumble's board, if I'm not mistaken, Rumble investor, and then coincidentally, Russell Brand is their latest
asset
liberal who left the left, but he's not even like Dave Rubin was dumb, but at least he was committed to the bit. Russell can barely muster the enthusiasm necessary to continue to get his bills paid by pretending to be a Trumper, honestly. Although he's committing,
Russell just ate so much dick by fucking up so fucking much, just like Jimmy Dore on the COVID question, on the vaccine question, and in general, I mean, this fucking sex allegations. Let's not beat around the bush. Even though we should tell Russell Brand to beat it a little bit less, if you know what I mean. And he needed to find an alternative means of making money because he has dedicated himself to the bit a bit too much. Again, I say bit twice. So he found a solution in the right, even though he most likely doesn't believe half of the shit that they're saying, but he's going to be like, okay, let's like rebrand this shit as just anti-establishment instead of Jews ruling the world, and I can kind of jump on board, yeah?
At least in terms of his guess. He had Don Jr. on recently.
David Sachs, who Jimmy Dore had on to argue that the Silicon Valley Bank bailout was not in fact a bailout.
Is Jimmy on Rumble?
I think so.
Is Russell Brand's an American citizen, isn't he?
No, he's Brit.
But he's not. He doesn't have American citizenship.
Oh, I mean, I think he probably does have American citizenship. Yeah, he's been over here for a while.
Maybe by marriage.
There it is. I mean, look, folks. He's got Trump has got
Russell Brand somehow managed to look like the less toxic person in the Katy Perry Russell Brand relationship. Oh, you know how difficult it is to be less based than Katy Perry? Oh man.
The friend of the guy that he had in 2016 who abandoned him in 2020. That's Peter.
Exactly, Carly Vinger. Russell Brand, more like Russell rebranded. You deserve a ban just for that, you piece of shit.
Peter Thiel. It's probably back into the fold.
Like, oh wow, a coterie of fascists and venture capitalists.
Baby Peter Thiel is on his side, which is just like a wide array of people. And then
Big Ten.
Russell Brand, who has just become a born again.
With Bear Grylls.
And also anti-vaxxer. Is he
no,
full on?
He's still full. Oh yeah, definitely.
Is he full on pandemic?
The logo for his damn podcast on Rumble is a
Russell Brand is the perfect example of never trust a fucking hippie, okay? Okay? Hippies only have the leftist aesthetic, but they cannot muster material analysis. And some of his older videos that I watched back in the day when he was relatively okay-ish, you know, fucking milquetoast, he had a bit of class consciousness, but, you know, class consciousness ain't paying the bills, am I right? And speaking of paying the bills, this class conscious guy wants to pay the bills, and in return, you get to not watch ads. In exactly 1 minute, an ad will play. So, you Gopnik paying his bills, or you consuming many, many things because you were brainwashed. That choice is before you for $5 a month for free through Prime. Get one, donate one, the choice is yours. Thank you very much.
COVID,
Yeah.
what do you call molecule?
He is a I am playing footsie with RFK because Trump was too much of a cock to vaccines, so he's that far.
I mean, it seems like everybody is coming onto the Trump train.
Yeah.
All the way.
Because they're hedging their bets, man. Come on. Like, you know this, majority. Sam, you fucking know this. They're hedging their bets. They're sure that he's going to win. They want to be on the winning side, and they want to ride that fucking tidal wave for 4 years after he gets elected. That's the fucking thing with hippies like Russell. That's the fucking thing.
Away from rich libertarian to
the people bought by them.
Rich libertarian in need of money, and also COVID denialism.
And displaced former stars.
Almost two different, unique notions of COVID.
There you go. Dream Set says the fucking idea, as always. Hippies suck. Just because you're anti-war doesn't mean you're anti-imperialist. Just because you want to end poverty doesn't mean you want to end capitalism. The smartest chat on this goddamn platform.
Denialism.
In this tent.
Like in this massive tent.
And did you see the standing ovation at the UFC fight? I mean, man, it's everybody that's coming around.
And those people are definitely registered to vote.
Oh, good. We put up the what's his face, Dr. Phil thing back up. Apparently, the thread is gone.
Come at us, Doc.
Oh, Thiel backs JD Vance. Because did JD Vance work for Thiel?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he's the
So,
front
I mean,
runner.
this David Sachs thing is, backs JD Vance, but JD Vance is going to be the VP.
Yeah.
That's how he's going to get in there.
I'd imagine.
It's a conspiracy of venture capitalists. Like Elon Musk is obviously part of it. Sachs, all these guys.
It's a big tent.
Real America Voice, in fact, wanted to make all of their Trump footage NFTs a couple years ago. Wonder how that project's
And they're not
going
even
down.
they're not even hedging their
Folks,
they're not even hedging their fucking bets when it comes to this particular election. Like the future of right-wing media, including left-wing media, which arguably doesn't really fucking exist, at least in the West, is digital, is online. So from Breitbart all the way down to the Daily Wire, these already almost billion-dollar companies in certain cases are going to be the future. So now is the moment to get in while getting in is available as an option. And a lot of people are hedging their bets by getting in on the ground floor, as the good old investors like to call it, on all of these platforms, so they can be the main voices of those platforms once they grow and become even more mainstream. Even though an argument could be made that platforms like the Daily Wire, etc., are already very much so mainstream. Just we don't want to believe it, me and you, chat, because that's not the type of shit we watch. But that's the type of shit a lot of fucking people watch.
Just before we play this clip, I just want to remind you.
A lot of people. A lot of people. People are a lot. Aren't people a lot? Trump promises more Israeli uppercut.
That tweet about Adelson. This is from Haaretz Monday. Yeah. It's reported that that Trump is desperate for her cash, and her ask is to allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Then on, was it June 4th?
Shit.
Then all of a sudden she is now providing a massive super PAC for Donald Trump. Just a reminder, back in 2016.
GOP mega donor Miriam Adelson to fund colossal super PAC for Trump. The casino billionaire is planning to back the newly reconstituted Preserve America effort to help the former president. Jesus Christ. Remember the MAGA guys who were like, yo, bro, vote Trump because he's like he's gonna like fuck up Netanyahu. He's gonna put him in his place because he's going to reestablish American dominance over its own political sphere. You know, compared to Biden that just listens to the goddamn Jews. Oh, I mean, goddamn Israelis.
When her husband Sheldon Adelson, now deceased, funded Donald Trump their ask.
Remember when we said the future was female? That was not what we meant, brothers.
Get out of the Iran nuke deal, move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and guess what? They got both those. Okay, that article's from May 30th. All right, so there it is. We know what she promised. And just days after that, so we're like 5 or 6 days out from her funding that thing. Here's Donald Trump on Sean Hannity.
Women hold up half the West Bank. Oh, Jesus. Time a twink.
For anybody who thought, and I think we thought that maybe during the debates he would try and get to the left of Joe Biden on Israel, it looks like it's far more lucrative for him to not do that. Here he is on Sean Hannity last night. This is clip number 6.
So, number one, they have to finish the job. Israel has to finish that job. They have to finish it quickly, strongly, and they have to get back to life again because it's taking too long. They have to finish the job.
You're saying go in, win, and finish.
You gotta win. Gotta win. The attack on October 7th, and it's getting more and more demeaned. They're demeaning it. I have people now telling me they don't think the attack ever happened. And take a look. You watch the news reports.
I have the
where
50
people
minutes
that are
of video.
protesting. Sure,
Hold
I know
on.
you
Will you
don't,
pause it
but
for a
here's the
second?
thing.
Child soldier. Subscriber.
Thank you very much, Vampire Adjacent. I forgot. Thank you very much, Vampire Adjacent. Come on, is it going to work? Thank you very much. Jesus. Thanks for keeping me company during work. No, thank you for keeping me company, baby. Trump is in his Israeli sugar mama era.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dead kids. But
Will Trump really have people coming up to him and going like, I don't believe the attack ever happened? Like, first off, who's coming up to Donald Trump? Like, who is Donald Trump having conversations with?
Nick Fuentes?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, maybe some of his neo-Nazi buddies are saying, like, I don't even think I don't think the Holocaust happened. I don't think the attack on October 7th happened. I mean, it's possible.
Right.
But, like,
They're saying, here we go again.
It would have been so fun for Sean Hannity just to mistakenly go, like, really? Like, who? Who's
Cytosaurus?
Who would say that to you? Well, just different people. Leftists, Democrats. All right, go back.
The news reports
I have the
where
50
people that are
minutes of video.
protesting. Sure, I know you do, and so do I. But here's the thing. You watch these people on television, and then just like you have Holocaust deniers also. They say the Holocaust never took. It's the exact same people. They're saying
Fuentes.
it never happened. AOC +3.
Love this new pitch. It's not people that are supporting a ceasefire that are just like pro-Hamas psychopaths, quote unquote. That was the older pitch. This is the new pitch. They're Holocaust deniers. Because all of them, the fact, like, I'm going to say words that literally didn't happen because my name is Big Orange Man. I'm going to bundle them all up, and I'm going to say that they don't think October 7th happened, all those college protesters led by Chairman AOC +3. And on top of that, I will say that the fact that they deny October 7th means they deny the Holocaust. New pitch just dropped.
Israel was the most powerful lobby in the country.
And then what? And then he addresses this. What?
Israel was the most powerful lobby in the country 15 years ago. Today, between Tlaib and AOC and all of these people, what they're
Wonderful.
doing,
A new child soldier.
Israel,
Subscriber.
they don't have the backing that they once had.
You'll give it to them.
Holy shit. Because he always needs to pitch himself as an underdog. Now he's redoing, again, another new pitch. Because a lot of people are like, hey, Israel bad because it is influencing the American government and it is a foreign power. We do not like this. America first, America first, America first. So how do you pitch to America first people that you're going to support Israel? You literally tell them, oh no, the lobby isn't as strong as you thought. There's a worse lobby than the fucking Jews. and it's the fucking Muslims. My boy's always on the fucking dollars, man. His PR team, Jesus, this is disgusting and awful and fucking evil. But God, yeah. Come on, do the fucking thing. Yeah. On the money. Also, thank you very much, Neurig, for the resub. Thank you very much. Okay, how many more do I have to do like these? Come on, fucking do the thing. Do the thing? Yeah, MacBooks. Thank you very much, Neurig. I think I have 7 left. Jesus, I shot myself in the foot.
Yeah, I'm good. But they don't have the backing. Even Schumer has become like a Palestinian. Chuck Schumer, Jewish, always strong for Israel. He's become like a Palestinian.
Called for elections in the middle of a war.
Yeah, it's a very bad thing. It's a very sad thing, and it's a very dangerous thing.
What the fuck? Noam Chomsky is in a Brazilian hospital after a massive stroke. Don't die, dude. He's the type of guy that we always thought would live forever. Noam Chomsky has been hospitalized in Brazil as he recovers from a massive stroke. The 95-year-old linguist is receiving treatment in a Sao Paulo hospital, adding that he was transported there from the U.S. once he was able to travel after his stroke. The outspoken left-wing critic has been left with difficulty speaking and impairments on the right side of his body, she said, confirming in an earlier report in Brazilian media. Said his difficulty speaking and the right side of his body is numb. Speedy recovery to you, my friend. Jesus Christ. Sure, some of us might not agree or disagree with certain things, but in the long term, brilliant man, and I hope everything is okay.
But if you look, so many people, I watch on your show where they're going and interviewing these people that are protesting just recently at Columbia and the different places. They say, we don't believe October 7th ever happened. And they may believe that, they may actually believe that. But
also, thank you very, very much, the 34Z. Thank you very much, 34Z. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, this isn't working as well as I thought it would be. This is awkward as shit. This is very awkward. Max, stop doing this to me. Thank you very much. Jesus.
But they have to get the job done. They have to get in there and they have to get it done.
I mean, first off, like all this stuff is so jumbled in his head. He's just clearly dumping. He's literally repeating what Miriam Adelson must have told him when she said about the money. And like, that's what he's doing. I mean, it's fascinating because you have all these people who get on television trying to appeal to Donald Trump, whether it's like Marjorie Taylor Greene or whatnot, and signal like, pick me. And he's going around and he's gotten paid now with Adelson's money. And he's going around.
Like, he got paid, but because he's anti-establishment, he can't have his audience think that he's a part of the establishment now. Because at this point, there's been so much talk about AIPAC, basically. So he needs to reshuffle the deck and say, nah, man, you guys don't know. You think it's the Jews? Nah. If it was the Jews, how would AOC plus 3 be in Congress? It's actually the other ones. And then he proceeds to not say the other ones and who the other ones are. Literally.
Repeating all this stuff. I mean, he hasn't talked like this in months. I don't know. This has been going on for 8 months. And now he's talking about this stuff?
He was on Adelson's, I forget the name of the right-wing Israeli publication that his, billions that funds, right? I mean, this is his widow. For people that don't know, Sheldon Adelson was one of the biggest Republican donors. He died recently, and his number one pet project in life is his support for Israel. So his widow is continuing that legacy.
What is the plus 3 reference to the rest of the squad? Yes, of course.
He was number on 2 with them.
He just, says it in his edgy way to undermine the other 3.
Destroy unions, incidentally, because he was
there
a
you
Vegas
go.
hotelier. But
Right. And so his wife is, continuing his legacy by supporting a genocide. And Trump was on there, and it was a weirdly cut, edited interview, but he was saying Israel needs to finish the job. But a few months ago, he also was saying that the optics of how Gaza looks is really bad for Israel. And that's what he was saying on that interview with that publication. It didn't get a ton of coverage. But the point is that now he's abandoned that altogether because he's even more desperate for money than he was the first time he ran, much more so because he views this as existential. But
he doesn't rush it, though. He is extremely desperate for money, but he doesn't rush it, as we can see. So he takes all the cash, but first he consults with his PR team on how do we spin me taking this cash. He doesn't jump head first. For such a silly big boy. For such a silly big boy, he's not very silly.
People forget when he ran for the first time, if you read that book Devil's Bargain, Trump never planned on winning the primary. Like, Trump never planned on winning the election. He wanted to make money. He wanted to get his name out there. Everything's about a branding exercise. The same quote that when he's talking about how Gaza looks for Israel because of all the destruction, it looks so bad. He has one mode. He's a savant almost at it, which is like public relations, but he's kind of a lunatic at the same time, so he's lost control of it. But that's all he sees the world as. And so he can be moved and swayed with the money because he now feels like, if I don't win, I'm going to jail.
But I think it was always a little bit wishful, the idea that he would run to Biden's left on this. And I don't think he ever showed any significant willingness to do that. Like, he was quoted in front of like a Zionist donor saying, we're going to set the Palestine movement back 25 years. Like that one thing at the UFC thing where he's like, we're going to wrap it up. Like that was pretty non-committal, but everyone's grasping at anything.
Well, we said that at the time.
I think it's not a question.
Yeah, but he was playing it non-committal the entire time so that he can see where he can get money from, right? So he can balance between how much money I can get from AIPAC and guys of that nature versus some potential other source of income. That's how he was, out of warring this shit really hard.
Question of hopeful. I mean, I think it's like a notion of just like he will say anything that he finds to be in his best interest. And until it became clear that there was someone who was going to offer him, could be hundreds of millions of dollars in an outside expenditures, in terms of like, that became his best interest at that point. Because there was a while he's going like, this would have never happened if I was there. And, there were times where he was running. Look, the Republic.
He's literally sitting and like looking at who can come first. Do you have a deal? Whatever.
Republicans ran against the Democrats back in like 2016 or 2014 on the Democrats cutting Medicare during the implementation of the ACA, which was cutting of Medicare Advantage, just cutting down the reimbursement rates because Medicare Advantage was ripping off the government. Yeah. And the nakedness in which they'll do this is easy. So I don't know.
The funniest part about my coughing is it's less from the fucking vape and it's more from the mask. That's the funniest part.
I mean, I think it was unlikely. I think there was some people who were like, this is going to prove that he is a, but the fact is, no, he would be just as bad and now worse.
And I think it's notable that he definitely noticed that it was splitting the base because he commented on that explicitly. But
Today I had gas boiler training and the auditor said de facto more times than you go. That is de facto impossible, motherfucker. And you know what else is de facto impossible? A choice, which I will present to you. For de facto, it is a simple one. An ad, which will play in 1 minute and 15 seconds. A soul-crushing experience. Or, de facto, the best experience on this whole platform, and that is watching half of my face scream into a microphone about topics we all care about. $5 a month for free through Prime. The choice is yours.
Wonderful. A new child
and
soldier.
Nando Tekua
Subscriber.
just decided. Not only that, but he will get. Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you very much. Just do it. Okay, this is getting fucking too cringe even for my stream. Thank you very much. Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, enough. This was enough fucking American politics for a month. Thank you.
Ain't bad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I guess let us talk about Britain, because why the fuck not? But before we talk about Britain, we need to know what the British dream is.
Pull up in my grey Audi A3 on finance to my 25-year fixed-rate mortgage Barratt new build home, after a hard day's work as Deputy Assistant Head of Sales Targeting. Open the boot and take out my River Island and Super Dry bags with my lush new gear.
Jesus, Super Dry. They like Super Dry? Holy shit.
Open the door. Yell hello to my wife of 2 years in the kitchen as she is already home from her work as a team leader at a call center. Sit down on my grey...
Or is this literally the same in the Balkans now? This is literally the same in the Balkans now.
Velvet sofa bought on sale from Sofology and put my feet up on my IKEA table. Whap on the telly just in time to see Bradders going through the rules to the final chase with the contestants who made it through. Perfect timing, as wifey brings through dinner. Another one of Jamie Oliver's cracking 30-minute meals. Tuck in as I pretend to listen to my wife's stories from work. Send a snap to Smithster and Dino, see if they want to come round later to watch the Champions League game on the old 4K OLED, maybe sneak in a few rounds of FIFA.
Dude. Or is this literally the modern Balkan dream? Oh man, we have been so cucked by fucking everybody. Okay, Britain is a dump. Start this without me for a second. I gotta go and get some shit to blow my nose in and some water. I'll be right back. Enjoy the chair.
Have you noticed how empty everywhere is these days? Britain is quickly becoming a nation of nothing. A recent Cambridge University report finds the availability of parks, cinemas, train stations, public transport, GP practices, hospitals, mental health care, police stations, banks, cash machines, post offices, education facilities, theatres, swimming pools, museums, shopping centres, chemists, pubs and gyms have declined across almost all English areas since 2014. Under the Conservatives, funding for local government has been cut by over half since 2010. With such stringy finances, councils have had to be very frugal with their limited budget, selling off billions worth of public assets just to make ends meet, and raising council tax higher and higher to pay for worse and worse services. And even then, many councils are going into debt just providing basic functions. This is part of a wider economic policy pursued by the Conservatives over the past 14 years, one that was intended to bring down government debt. Cuts to education to the tune of £10 billion, taking 14% from the most deprived schools. £5,000 less per pupil. Youth services down by a third. Environment down 20%, housing down by a half, and infrastructure...
Guess who's back? It's not Shady, I'm not a boomer, it's you Gopnik, it's the Shady of nowadays, talking about Britain, talking about Britain, talking about Britain. I was away from 1 minute and 45 seconds. That is the most ethical streamer on this fucking platform. Yes, indeed, yes I am. This is the guy. This is the guy. I am the guy. I am the guy. Do the thing. I am the guy. Okay. I am the guy. Wait, is he going to do the thing? I am the guy.
Structure down 55%.
Look how serious I am. There's rain.
Repairs down 40%. 600 million slashed from yearly cultural spending. That probably doesn't sound like much, but 10 years down the line, the last 5 UK Christmas #1s have been a series of novelty songs about sausage rolls. In this frenzy of balancing budgets, the Tories seemingly forgot that there were people on the other side of those spreadsheets, and soon society began to quite literally collapse in on itself. St Mary's Hospital in London has rotting floors, flooding, collapsing ceilings and sewage spilling out of the drains onto the outpatient ward. But St Mary's...
Yeah, my favorite joke is America is a third world country with a Gucci belt. The UK doesn't even have the Gucci belt.
Hospital doesn't qualify for urgent investment to repair these issues because...
Ahola Burns from the Balkans. Britannia doesn't rule the waves anymore. Suck it up, Anglos.
Because there are at least 5 other hospitals in worse condition, and there isn't enough money to repair them all. One hospital in Cambridge is so dilapidated that it is unsafe to treat overweight patients on the upper floors because the structure could give way at any moment. There are schools that are only avoiding bankruptcy because every time the ceiling collapses, they get an apology payment from the company that was contracted to build the school. Some areas were exempt from budget cuts, like benefit payments, for example. So the goal became to get as many people off benefits as possible. And some
UK looks like the Westerners said the Eastern Bloc looked.
of the ways they tried to do this are downright cruel. People on housing benefits who have a spare bedroom in their house could be forced to pay a penalty. This would encourage them to move to a smaller house, thus reducing the overall amount of benefits that need to be paid. But some people need a spare bedroom in their house to store medical equipment, because 2/3 of the penalty payers were disabled. This was a tax on low-income disabled people, and hundreds of thousands fell into poverty as a result. How much did this policy save? After 2 years, 390 million. Not even 1 day of health service funding. Estimates for the number of people killed by strict welfare
I'm not laughing at the
policies run into
fucking, disabled people getting fucking shanked, but... People joke that austerity is the greatest lie ever told to the working man. It's not a fucking lie. Everything else is the greatest lie ever told to the working man. Austerity is them whipping out their dick and slowly proceeding to urinate all over you. And not in a good way.
Tens of thousands. The Conservatives have created one of the most frugal governments in the developed world and contributed to the longest...
Watching UK poverty is like American porn, dude. Because they're like, oh my god, there's a place worse than us.
and deepest period of wage losses since the Napoleonic Wars. The last 14 years of Conservative government have been worse for your finances than the Great Depression.
Dude. It's like they're trying. It's like they're trying for it to go bad. Plot twist, they are.
In a modern society, when the government ceases to work, everything ceases to work. The British economy has seen no growth in the past 15 years. The median salary in Britain hasn't changed in over 15 years. If we had maintained the pace of wage growth we had before 2008, we would have, on average, about 11,000 more pounds in disposable income each. The average family in Poland and Slovenia is set to be better off than the average British family by the end of the decade.
Slavs keep winning. Slavs keep winning. Slavs keep winning. Poverty for the Brits. Eternal karma. No, I feel very bad for the impoverished British peoples, but...
People who live in the former East Germany, who spent 44 years under a communist dictatorship...
suck my dick.
...are now richer than the UK average. It wasn't always like this. Cast your mind back to 2007.
Joe Biden walked into chat like, okay.
Was in year 3 and spending all my allowance on club.
There you go. I mean, he is British as well, so it has to. What if I would tell you that the majority of industry on which the current stability of these states is built on was created by said evil communist dictatorship?
Penguin, things were
and your economy was built on the world's most successful and widespreading imperial project, which you can no longer maintain, and therefore cannot maintain the standards which you had previously under the largest imperial project that the human race has ever seen.
Far from perfect, but materially, we were all better off. Huge strides had been made.
Toasty Android, but it is friggin' funny that a leading country under capitalism is doing worse than an old communist country under siege. Yeah.
in reducing child poverty. Crime had been on a downward trend since 1995, and the health service was in such good shape that people complained the waiting list to see a doctor was too short.
If I ring up and ask, say, on the Monday for an appointment on the Wednesday, no, you have to ring back Wednesday morning. That's right.
Well, sorry, yeah, but surely they're not saying, do you, that you have to have it quicker than you wanted? Well,
per capita, Britain was one of the richest countries in the world, beaten only by a few tax havens and oil states.
Yeah, because up until 2010, you were still milking all the fucking money you had made as an empire. And that money is running out, and is running out fucking quick.
The average British person was richer than the average in the USA, France...
This is the biggest proof. GDP shit doesn't matter in the slightest for the average person. You have to look at the actual living standards, yeah. But you did talk about the median wage.
Japan, Australia and Canada, but in 14 short years, we threw all of that away. The British economy has even performed worse than Russia, a nation crippled by sanctions, a costly war on its own doorstep, and where 1 in 5 people are alcoholics.
Yeah, suck my fucking dick about the last one. If it was 3 out of 5 people alcoholics, it would be the most successful fucking economy in the world, okay? Why are you pitching this as a problem? This is the biggest. This is the biggest L of Russia. That not more people are alcoholics. This is anti-alcoholic revisionist history. Piece of shit, Brit. Go drink some fucking tea or some shit. Don't piss on my culture, dude. But no, I love this. I mean, this objectively is a bit. We do a little bit of Orientalism, and we do a little bit of. How do I say that my country is doing really bad? Because it is doing worse than 3 Slavic countries just mentioned, 3 Eastern peoples that we used to rely on to build our buildings and work on our construction sites and bring sex slaves to our beautiful, beautiful country. Just. You know what I mean. The need for you to say we are really bad compared to and then input developing countries into the conversation is fucking hilarious. And it is Orientalist as fuck. You know, look, we're almost as bad as the Easterners, whatever. Which means that we're really bad, man. We're really bad. Can't wait for India to be mentioned.
I cannot stress how utterly over it is for the UK. 1 in 3 children are in poverty. In places like Newcastle, it's as high as 41%.
Thank you very much, Yana Gibasi. Thank you very much. I think 5 are left that I need to do this. Thank you very much. Oh, come on, fucking just. Thank you very much. I hate that I promised I'll do this. This is fucking. Oh, Jesus, okay, got out. Thank you very much, Janek Basi.
1 in 20 children can't...
Šta to radiš sportima? Znam, zato što se zajebo. I said that I'm gonna use the new fucking weird MacBook shit for all the new guys for 10 subs, and I'm halfway there. I apologize for being cringe as shit.
Even afford to sleep on a mattress. 800,000 people went to hospital for malnutrition last year, up 300% since 2013. In 2010, the charity Trussell Trust delivered 41,000 food packages to struggling families. In 2023, it was 3 million, an increase of 7,000%. Enemies of Britain, you should be doing victory laps, host a party, invite all of your friends. When the Conservatives arrived in...
We are. Just instead of those flags, you should have also added every single flag in history, because we're all dancing on your graves. I'm kidding. I obviously feel bad about the working British people, but yeah.
Office in 2010, the Treasury under Labour had been running a deficit of £150 billion a year trying to weather the 2008 global financial crisis. If another big crisis were to happen, like a public health emergency or a major conflict, Britain wouldn't have the money to deal with it. So austerity measures were, as David Cameron called it, fixing the roof while the sun was shining. It has now been 14 years since the Conservatives took office, 9 years since they shook off the Liberal Democrats.
And also since when did the sun shine in Britain, baby?
And governed alone without compromise. Yet the roof was never fixed. Things did not get back to normal when the deficit was under control. And when it did rain, it rained hard. Our crippled island stood no chance against the tumultuous 2020s. The Conservatives justified their budget cuts economically with a 6-page research paper called Growth in a Time of Debt, which suggested that too much debt would severely hamper economic growth and recovery from recessions. Needless to say, this paper was fraught with errors, including an Excel typo which threw off all the calculations and drastically overemphasized the results. Even the writers of the paper eventually said that the paper
Some
was
intern got fucking cucked.
wrong, and a revised version of the study revealed that austerity policies were much less effective than first thought. But that doesn't matter to the Conservatives anymore. They stopped pursuing financial stability long ago, and are now engaging in a nefarious social re-engineering program that specifically targets the poorest areas of the country. That sounds like some kind of left-wing conspiracy, but no, they openly admit to taking from the poor to give to the rich.
I managed to start changing the funding formulas to make sure that areas like this are getting the funding that they deserve. Because we inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas, then that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing that.
But is that the end of the story?
Here's the goat talking about British debt. Rest in peace.
Anthropologists study taboo, things everybody knows, but no one is supposed to talk about. In British society, you can say almost anything you like about sex. Economics, however, is riddled with taboo. There are basic economic principles that everybody knows, but no one is ever allowed to talk about. Today I want to talk about one. Let's call it the Peter Paul principle. The less the government is in debt, the more everybody else is. The mathematics are simple. Imagine 40 poker chips. Peter has half, Paul has the rest. Obviously, if Peter gets 10 more, then Paul has 10 less. Now look at this. It's a diagram of the balance between public and private sectors. Notice how the top is an exact mirror of the bottom. This is what's called an accounting identity. One goes up, the other must necessarily go down. What this means is that if the government declares we must act responsibly and pay back the national debt and runs a budget surplus, then it, the public sector, is taking in more money in taxes out of the private sector than it's paying back in. That extra money has to come from somewhere. So if the government goes into surplus, the private sector goes into deficit. If the government reduces its debt, everyone else has to go into debt in exactly that proportion in order to balance their own budgets. The chips are redistributed. This isn't a theory, it's simple math. Now, you might be asking, why does anybody have to be in debt? Why can't everybody, governments, people, businesses, just live within their means? Because then there wouldn't be any money. This is another thing everybody knows, but no one really wants to talk about. Money is debt. Banknotes are just a bunch of circulating IOUs. Don't believe me? Look at any banknote in your pocket. It says, I promise to pay the bearer the sum of £5. See? It's an IOU. Pounds are either circulating government debt, or they're created by banks by making loans. That's where money actually comes from. You might say, okay, that doesn't mean I'm going to end up in debt, just the improvident. But in the real world, how debt is distributed has very little to do with fiscal responsibility. It's mainly about power. The wealthy have a million ways to wriggle out of debt. The debt always gets passed off on those least able to pay. So, when the government runs a deficit, creditors, rich people again, end up holding a lot of government bonds, which pay quite low rates of interest. The government taxes you to pay it off.
All of us have to pay our share.
All that's really happening when it runs a surplus is that same government takes that same debt and effectively transfers it directly to you as higher mortgage debt, payday loans, and so on, at much higher rates of interest. Yet somehow taxes never seem to go down. Everyone really knows this. It's just a taboo to say it. Because what it really means is, if the government balances its books, it makes it almost impossible for you to balance yours.
Exactly.
Capitalism is failing. What started?
Exactamundo. This was made 8 years ago.
After all, we're only
10.81%
of the way through the runtime of this video. It turns out that many of our nation's problems are actually decades old, and when the Tories quite literally ripped up the social foundations of the nation, they brought all of them out into the open at the same time. A cacophony of catastrophes, aren't we lucky? If you live in Britain and you're around my age, you probably scarcely even remember living in a world outside of late trains, littered streets, shuttered shops, and crumbling schools. My viewer base is mostly 18 to 30-year-olds who, for the first time in a century, are more like...
But remember how the rest of us that don't live in Britain get the Hollywoodized image of it to this fucking day. We get the big skyscrapers. We get the incredibly successful suited up people of central London. We get the incredibly courageous MI6 agents. We get James Bond, my dude. How about James Bond doesn't go and kill foreign villains, but actually, for a change, kills domestic villains? But that would mean that James Bond goes and fucking shoots the prime minister, which obviously, for a movie genre that is literally defined as we make British people look less skinny, bad teeth, and more based, that would not be very possible. Am I right? Hey, James Bond, how about you get some class consciousness, brother? In my lifetime, the NHS has gotten worse. We used to have one doctor each. Wait times, great, genuine help. I'm only 21 years old. In less than 2 decades, it's gotten observably worse. I can imagine.
Likely to be living with family than having their own home. You should be out enjoying your 20s, throwing parties, having loads of...
James Bond is an IRA member actually killing Thatcher. Yeah, we're never getting that.
Sex, making a name for yourself. How is that possible if you're stuck in your childhood bedroom, still with your Mr. Men bedsheets from when you were a kid, subject to your nagging parents, the only other options giving away like half of your income on rent, or getting locked into a 35-year mortgage on the most boring house you've ever seen? That's not projection, just in case you thought it was. You probably didn't, but just in case that you did. Don't blame yourself. You're not a failure. Look around. We're all in the same boat. Nothing is new. Everything is at least 40 years old.
Yes, but additionally, like all these problems that they are facing are not necessarily exclusive to bad decision making on the shoulders of particular politicians or particular parties. Those same politicians and parties are acting within the confines of a system which motivates this particular type of behavior. It's, again, not to repeat myself like a broken record, but this is a systematic problem and therefore a systematic result. Has very little to do with which party is in power.
Houses are so damn expensive these days. The average house price has increased 224% since 1990, far outstripping wages over the same time period. The problem is we're being haunted. Haunted by an unholy Frankenstein ghost of socialist Thatcherism.
What? This is gonna be edgy.
In the 1930s, it was really cheap to build stuff. Interest rates were low, making it easy to borrow money and invest in new construction projects.
Yeah, wait, let's fucking hear it. He's probably doing an edgy thing. I hope he's doing an edgy thing. Let's all hope he's doing an edgy thing.
You didn't need to ask permission to build. If you owned the land, you could build anything. The only rules were that the structure needed to be safe and well ventilated. Building was booming. In 1935 alone, 70,000 homes were built in London, and nearly 300,000 across the whole UK, giving rise to the classic suburbs still around today. Construction became 17% of the UK economy and accounted for a third of all economic growth in this...
Yeah, because Britain still had money left over from imperial conquest.
...this period. A lot
literally the country, the welfare queen, okay?
People didn't like this. The socialists within the Labour Party didn't like that private capitalist developers were dictating the national housing policy. So when Labour ascended to power after the Second World War, they introduced this, the Town and Country Planning Act of 1947. From now on, you must ask for government permission to build anything, so that any and all construction would be in the interests of the public, not profits. Everything must be built with the approval of the local residents. The government, in theory being the representative of the local residents, could just give themselves planning permission, and for most of the post-war era, it was they who built most of the nation's infrastructure. Then, when the Thatcher government took power in 1979, they slashed the budget of national and local construction projects, believing that the private market would simply pick up the slack. What they seemingly forgot to do was repeal the law preventing the private market from building anything.
So the private market couldn't work properly because of what the socialists had previously established as a rule. It wasn't the giving to the private market which is causing these issues that we have right now, but it is them not repealing the one thing that was protecting citizens from housing that was unnecessary being built? Dude, why does every 3 streams in a row, you give me fucking videos where I'm like, okay, this is going to be some base fucking shit, and let's learn some stuff, into, now I have to fucking whip my fucking dick out and piss all over this guy. I don't want to be a negative dude. I'm not a negative dude. I don't want to be a negative dude, but seems like I am destined to being a negative dude.
What does a policy such as that look like several decades later? Under a plan drawn up by the Poplar Housing Association, 330 homes in Tower Hamlets would be demolished and replaced by 1,600 modern homes, with 600 being designated as low-income housing. There was also added space for retail and transport right next to Canary Wharf, where all the high-paying jobs are. That sounds like in the public interest to me, and the public agreed.
Hey, silver lining, Toasty Android. It's good content. No fun as a leftist and all. Yeah, we're doomed to be fucking depressed. A very cool guy, this guy made like a decent video about it. This dude, I don't know if you heard about him. He's not, he doesn't wear masks. He made a good video called "Why Leftists Can't Enjoy Anything." Okay, and this is in praxis how this exactly happens.
The council said yes, the planning board said yes, even the residents said yes in a referendum that was 90% in favour with a 90% turnout. But London City Council rejected it because some people, quantity unknown, said that the buildings would be too high. And so the story goes, year upon year, up and down the country. Private developer wants to build, a small minority of local residents get up in arms about it, and the local council, not wanting to lose any voters, denies the planning permission, and the nation continues to stagnate. Just look at how old our buildings are compared to the rest of Europe. The majority of people live in houses built before 1970. Last year, the estate agents Foxtons had nearly 100,000 applicants competing for over just 2,000 available properties. The waiting list for a council house in Brent is 14 years, with 20,000 people on the list. And as in all cases where supply is limited, those with deeper pockets always win. If you ever do manage to escape that tier of the history classroom poster, you get locked into a 35-year mortgage, enslaved to a bank, giving away half their paychecks to a landlord who is oftentimes an actual lord, paying off a house that was built in 1925. The streets of Strasbourg and Frankfurt, even Warsaw and Prague, are filled with boutiques and small businesses and cafes. On British streets, you will find nothing except Greggs, a WH Smith, or a betting shop if you're lucky. Independent businesses are priced out. Entrepreneurialism in Britain today is mostly drop shipping and ticket scalping. This is why we are thousands of pounds poorer than our German counterparts. We are the only country in Western Europe that is like this. Spain has built over 10 high-speed rail lines since...
It's not because you exited the European Union. It is not because you elected right-wing politicians in a row for 8 times now. It is not because you no longer have the ability to grow your economy, which was completely based on the large coffers which you have established thanks to, imperialism. It is because local people have more of a voting right when it comes to what type of building is built in the neighborhoods. Am I stupid and I'm missing something, or is that for now the argument? Tell me, am I being a dumb small brain boy? A dumb little small brain boy? Am I missing the point? Because there's no way that's the point in a 700,000 fucking video. I love how nobody in chat can tell me.
1992. Most of them much longer than HS2. In fact, for €30, you can get a first-class ticket.
Neokrama, houses no be built equals apocalypse-level schools that have roofs fall down regularly. Yeah, that's what I'm getting as well.
With a 2-course meal included with any journey over 2 hours.
Wait, why are we watching an hour and a half video? I don't know, because today we're watching long videos, but I'll probably not watch this whole thing because I don't want to spend an hour learning nothing if this is the rest of it.
Most of them much longer than HS2. In fact, for €30, you can get a first-class ticket with a 2-course meal included with any journey over.
Yeah, but what is Britain literally famous for? Privatizing its railway. That's what that's the British meme, like, haha, this is what happens if you privatize the...
2 hours. Why can't we have that? It's not a one-off novelty that gets featured in a Tom Scott video. It's a normal thing that normal countries have. And we don't have it. Britain's cities are more poorly served by public transport.
Because you're no longer a normal fucking country. You're a third world country without a Gucci belt. Fucking live with it. You're cocked. End.
Than those of any other wealthy Western country, including the car-centric suburban hell of the United States. Brescia in Italy, population 200,000, has a fully automated metro line built in 2013, with plans for 2 more. Leeds, population 500,000, is the largest city in Western Europe without a light rail or metro system. It may have something to do with how the bureaucratic inquiries required to construct a new tram station can cost more than the inquiry into the Iraq War.
So he's... Okay, I know where this is going. This is going into there is too much bureaucracy in the United Kingdom, which is not allowing both private and government enterprise to develop our cities and our infrastructure. It's bureaucracy, not an incredibly unstable economy going through late-stage capitalism, which has fucked up politicians that are further pushing it into apathy and greater levels of poverty.
Small minority of local residents have the power to block any and all development.
Listen to this again. Just listen to this.
Pull
again.
up in my grey Audi A3 on finance.
Oh no, not this. Oh shit. Fuck. Where were we? Ugh. Listen to this again.
500,000 is the largest city in Western Europe without a light rail or metro system. It may have something to do with how the bureaucratic inquiries required to construct a new tram station can cost more than the inquiry into the Iraq War. A small minority of local residents have the power to block any and all development.
That's the pitch. Are you dumb, Chad? Are you fucking stupid? The pitch is that because there is power given to local communities to choose what gets to happen, because of that, we can't have good things. That's it.
Even if it's for the betterment of society. Even if they benefit, like vetoing vital flood defenses that...
I mean, an argument could be made that, without knowledge, you do not have the right to free speech. No knowledge, no speech, shut the fuck up. So, yeah, Kenny and Bob aren't supposed to be asked whether we can make a decent railway system or a metro system in the city. But there are far greater problems in England that stop it from developing than local bureaucracies allowing more power over what is being done in domestic communities than private enterprises. You just want to switch this very bad model, I guess, with a free enterprise one. The only thing you will get is the worst infrastructure of a developed nation in the world, which is the United States. Will the free market completely dictates what kind of cities are being built. And it's going to have highways and parking lots and malls and incredibly high levels of gentrification. I get it, this sucks, but you want to replace it just with what? With gentrification. This is a new one to me. Also, congratulations. Congratulations, chat. 13,000 fucking followers. We're so fast, we're so big. I hope the number isn't unlucky. Genuinely, thank you very much to everybody who has made this channel, helped this channel arrive at such a beautiful, beautiful point. 13,000 followers. Thank you very much, chat. You're fucking based. Especially thank you to all my wonderful subscribers without whom none of this would be possible, genuinely. And my mods who are the most patient, the kindest, the chillest fucking people that I've ever met on this platform or anywhere else. It's an absolute pleasure to work with you motherfuckers, if you can call this work, because this is awesome, and I'm extremely privileged to have the ability to call myself the most underestimated and most elite intellectual in the world, also known as a Twitch streamer. No jokes. Thank you very much, Mouse Mouth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, I'm gonna thank you like this. Do the fucking thing. Thank you very much. This is seriously based. Thank you for the gifted sub. Jesus Christ. Awesome. No, seriously. I never expected this to happen. I was like, first year, we're going to struggle for 1,000 followers. We're going to try and, build 100 view, 50 view channel, and I would be very happy with it. We continuously hit over 500 on a regular. We were at 1,000K on these at certain points, which is the dream now, 1,000 consecutive viewers. And we hit fucking 13,000 followers. Genuine appreciation, hat down, would be impossible without you fuckers. And especially would be impossible without the anonymous gifter, also known as Xi Jinping. Let us give him a little salute. This is from me to Xi Jinping, but also more importantly to all you base motherfuckers. Thank you. Genuinely made my month. Thank you. The boy's gonna cry. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you. 13,000 motherfucker. You said 13 is an unlucky number, baby. Let's fucking go, motherfuckers. Thank you very much, man. Seriously, fucking based. Thank you. Eventually we'll reach the sub count as well, and all will be well. And this will be as sustainable as a stream can get. Thank you, you beautiful pieces of shit. Now let's get back to this guy that's saying that Joe and Billy not being able to vote. Being able to vote on what happens in their local community, that actually being the big problem.
Could stop their homes from being destroyed because the defences would look kind of ugly. House building targets have never once been met since they were introduced 23 years ago. Not under the Tories, not under Labour. So instead, the Tories just abolished the House building targets have never once been met since they were introduced 23 years ago. Not under the Tories, not under Labour. So instead, the Tories just...
And I love how, I'm now only realizing that the pitch, even from the beginning of the video, doesn't really target, conversations about homelessness rates, doesn't really talk about how there's more empty flats in the UK than ever, and there's more homeless people than ever. Doesn't talk about the incredibly unstable job market. The pitch of Britain is a dump is literally exclusively talking about the aesthetics of the cities. Everything is old and shitty, and this is the problem with Britain right now, that everything is old and shitty, and we don't have cool trains like the Spanish communists And we're more and more like the Eastern Europeans. I should have caught it then. I'm getting bad at my job. You need to keep me in line. I didn't see the little sneak argumentation even from the get-go. Also talking about sneak, now I'm going to sneak a little ad pitch to you. In exactly 1 minute, an ad will play. If you would like to support this show, this massive show with 30,000 followers now, for $5 a month or for free through Prime, do consider becoming one or gifting to somebody who does not have the ability to do so. Thank you very, very much.
Abolish the targets.
Which looks to me like turning off your smoke alarm just because you don't like the noise that it's making.
The houses that targets have never once been met since they were introduced 23 years ago. Not under the Tories, not under Labour. So instead, the Tories just abolish the targets.
Which looks to me like turning off your smoke alarm just because you don't like the noise that it's making.
The houses that do get built are poor quality, cramped, ugly, and lagging behind our European neighbours. They have to comply with the silliest of regulations, such as absurdly small window sizes.
That's kind of small.
This regulation apparently exists because climate change might make people want to open their windows more so they can get some fresh air, and small children could fall out of them. Instead of making windows smaller, why don't we just install air conditioning so people don't have to open their windows? Well, because air conditioning is more or less banned because it would use too much electricity. Can't we just make more electricity? Apparently not. Solar construction businesses have been waiting 15 years for permission to install solar farms
because one group in particular have been very vocal in their opposition to green energy. Have you guessed who it is yet? That's right, it's the Green Party.
2014, Surrey, Reigate Green Party opposes a solar farm that could have provided green energy to over 3,500 homes. 2018, Kent, the Green Party opposes the installation of a new solar farm in uninhabited marshland. 2020, Hastings, the Green Party opposes plans to build a 2-megawatt solar farm. 2021, Derbyshire, the Green Party opposes any and all solar farms in the entire county, with Councillor Frank Adlington saying, "Solar farms are not the future of Derbyshire's energy sector." He goes on to say that if the Green Party were in government, there would be greater investment in offshore wind power, hydropower, tidal, geothermal and other renewable technologies instead.
Mr. Adlington, Frank, I don't know if you've ever looked at a map of the county you represent, but it's landlocked. Second of all, you might want to check in with your fellow party members.
Because East Suffolk Council, which the Green Party controls, have blocked the expansion of more wind farms in the North Sea because they were alarmed by the current developer-led model. What a weird group of people. Climate change is an existential threat to humanity, but don't do anything about it if it means somebody would make a profit from the solution. Horror story.
No. He's turning them into some leftists that don't want to do solar farms because it is a profitable business for those who put them there. He's making that the reason why the Green Party isn't acting as a Green Party. Well, the answer is quite to the contrary, because they're just using populist, eco-friendly rhetoric to put themselves in power and are more talking about gardening and cutting down less trees or whatever the fuck, instead of actually talking about renewable energy growth. The problem is that you do not have parties that live up to what they had promised. Not that these parties hate rich people who will potentially profit from making these wind farms or whatever the fuck, big solar panels, yeah. Because in your whole country you have green Tories, you have red Tories, and you have blue Tories. The problem with your country is the opposite, that everybody is a fucking brainwashed capitalist cuck who doesn't know how to run a country properly. Not that people hate profit and they don't want to let... Okay, great.
Stories from bureaucratic Britain go on and on and on. 13 years to build an offshore wind farm, £1 billion to rebuild a roundabout in Bedfordshire.
But still, they should still do solar panels there. His son, it's just not going to be as efficient as putting them in Iraq, yeah.
Victorian-era telephone cables preventing the rollout of high-speed internet. £9 billion and 22 years to build a 3-mile tunnel under the River Thames. This tunnel has produced 359,000 pages of paperwork, and not a single shovel of earth has been moved. Last year, India landed a probe on the moon for $75 million. We could have landed Britain on the moon 100 times for the cost of planning to build a 3-mile tunnel. And it's not just the big projects that get blocked. With the rise of smartphones, these iconic British red telephone boxes have become public urinals and billboards for prostitutes. But when local entrepreneurs wanted to turn this Lambeth phone booth into a coffee kiosk, locals rejected the idea because it was, quote, out of character in a conservation area of historic interest.
Presumably, this would ruin the historical value of a giant...
Yeah, it's lib infighting. Okay, the whole fucking video, I'm done with this guy. Okay, the whole fucking video is, oh my god, the libs are infighting about one guys want to preserve the aesthetic of the city, combined with we also do not want to be fucking astroturfed as fuck and have massive corporations building shit here, which is a decent fucking argument, versus the guys that want to run it for profit. And his solution to this is removing as much regulation as possible so that private enterprises can build whatever the fuck they want in the cities, which is somehow going to solve all the problems. All the problems literally caused by different Tory governments started from the Thatcherite era, which introduced the free market as the core principle under which the United Kingdom should be run. The fucking unstable and falling apart streets, small businesses, architecture, city planning, and so on is a direct consequence of your fucking country looking at profitability as the only solution to absolutely everything. On top of that, also rejecting everything that usually left and left adjacent parties in continental Europe have defined as a new standard when it comes to railway lines, when it comes to highways, when it comes to just walkable cities, etc., etc. This is a consequence that you are living currently of previous policies that have been enacted, like, oh my god, they're not building like cool looking buildings. Yeah, because everybody's fucking poor. Nobody can afford to live in those buildings. And the other buildings that they would build that would look quote unquote cool, they cannot because of the domestic liberals that want to preserve the quote unquote aesthetic of the whole fucking city. You're missing the point completely and literally sounding like a Thatcherite that's like, if only a bit more free market and the removal of the state and the removal of bureaucracy, everything is going to get better. Well, you literally tried that before and you mentioned it in your video. But you called it, and I'm not fucking kidding, Thatcherite socialism, which was like, dude, this is going to be some fucking edgy shit. He's gonna like make fun of like, socialism for the rich, etc., etc. No, my boy, the whole, like, I'm done. And because I was waiting for something smart to be said. Absolutely nothing smart was said. The whole fucking pitch continuously without stopping. Tell me if I'm fucking stupid, chat, but the whole pitch continuously was too much bureaucracy. Entrepreneurs can't do their thing. If entrepreneurs are allowed to do their thing, we would be doing better. My friend, the examples of Spanish rail lines, of French rail lines, of specifically German rail lines and domestic infrastructure were not caused by entrepreneurs thinking up that they can create those things. It wasn't rich dudes that like sat together and we were like, haha, we will build better infrastructure for our cities. If you believe this, you're fucking stupid. And this is 700,000 fucking views, 800,000 fucking views. And it's especially insane because he continues to make the video almost exclusively about aesthetics, about like our cities look like shit. It's literally the mentality of let's remove the fucking homeless from here over to somewhere where we don't get to look at them. Let's not change any systematic problems in our country which cause poverty and cause everything to look dirty and like shit. No. The answer actually is more entrepreneurial spirit, which is this, just the fucking Zoomer liberals terminology for what? For what? Thatcherite fucking logic. The market is going to fix this. And then it's going to trickle down to all of you. And he has the fucking face to fit it very well. This is what no systematic analysis does to a motherfucker, man. Let's talk about something even worse than Britain, and that is
this is definitely
the gender wars based FD signifier. How the fuck am I not? I'm not subscribed. This is not my main channel. Not the channel I used to watch stuff. Okay, so FD Signifier, are you all tired of the gender wars? Please, my lovely, lovely mods, adjust the title to just gender wars, and then obviously put FD Signifier's name in there. Let's talk about men hating women, women hating men. Who is better? Is it the booba? Is it the dick? Is it the butthole? Who will win in the internal war between the twink and the bear? Is it the hair or is it the smooth butt? We shall see. Booba, everybody's like Booba. Okay, yeah. Booba, I understand, chat. You like Booba. Okay. Ass on top, we all got him. Exactly. Okay, so the gender wars. Let's start and see what kind of gender we can abolish today, shall we? With the lovely, lovely FD Signifier, dear friend of the show. Let's fucking go. Let us fucking go.
Only one of my longer videos, but it's well worth the watch. And if you want to watch
the good Lennon, now this is an almost 2-hour video. I'm completely fine sitting through. Yeah. And I doubt that I would be disappointed by the brilliant FD Signifier compared to all the goddamn video recommendations you guys have been giving in Discord that are making my mind bloody melt. Which, by the way, plug for the Discord, over 4,000 members. It's a pretty fun place. Right !Discord, and you can find the invite link. It is a very nice, very large, very chill community of similar-minded people, and we're pretty chill. Yeah.
Watch it ad and censorship free in its original unaltered state. Please scroll down to the description and sign up for my streaming service Nebula and get a 40% discount on a yearly subscription. Wait until the end of the video if you want more details. Otherwise, thank you for clicking on the video and enjoy.
All right, so this may end up being a long one, but it's a good one. It's going to be an interesting time. For those of you who are new that don't,
just like this dick. Yeah. Yeah, now I feel shame for saying that, but yeah.
Watch long ass videos. There's chapters in the description. Go ahead and break it off in chunks if you need to. I hope you finish it all. You should. But we're going to jump right in. Derek Jackson. Where do I begin? Derek Jackson was a successful, super successful, really, social media personality, author, public speaker, influencer, etc. over the past decade plus. And in that time, he built a huge platform independently and independently published over half a dozen books and spoke all over the country and amassed millions of followers and views across multiple social media platforms, including 700,000 subscribers on YouTube, 1.2 million followers on Instagram, and 3.7 million friends or followers, whatever they're called, on Facebook. With the majority of these follows.
She said, we're missing out on Facebook, man. I should go on fucking Facebook. Holy shit. Get all that fucking grandma money. Get all that, all damn slurpers. You know, if you chatters think you're Oilers, man, over on Facebook, brother. Over on Facebook, we got all them grandmothers that love giving you money as long as you say the vaccine is very fucking unbased.
And these dollars.
And that everything is still possible, even at the age of 7,700. Thank you very much, Lumio1, for the sub.
Child soldier.
And that is the last one that gets the fucking heart thing. For those of you who are now joining us, apparently Mac did the fucking thing where if you show things, it gave a thumb down. Oh, God. Okay, you're going to get this instead. Thank you very much, my beautiful child soldier. Welcome. Dude, it's glitching. Man, Mac paid me great money to do this, and now it's fucking up. There you go. Now it's lasers. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's start.
Coming from black women. Because of his views, Jackson was seen as a lover of black women and a panderer to black women and an enemy to some black men, but we...
Are you, except for the enemy of black men? I was like, are you talking about me? Yeah. Okay, I'm stopping the 12-year-old jokes. Okay, I fucking promise.
Won't give them a lot of time today. And this is because of his unyieldingly supportive and sometimes very insightful stances for black women. He criticized the behavior of black men in relationships and spent a lot of time telling the truth about the games that black men would often play in relationships, giving away secrets and cheat codes that fuckboys and cheaters have used on black women for probably generations.
I have never seen anyone do the hand and heart thing like you do. Like, it isn't, Jesus. I'm doing gang signs. This is how I used to do it, right? But now it's apparently this. And there's also like, I can't do like what was the little, like I just continue to embarrass myself. The zoomer way to show the heart. Like it was this. I don't fucking know. Oh, look, it's a little heart. I don't fucking know. Wait. Zoomer heart with hands. Like this? What? Fuck you. This is like insane. This is insane. This is literally insane. This is stupid. This is fucking stupid. Did you know how difficult this is? You can just do this. There you go. It's a perfect heart. It's a thick boy heart. It's just like my heart.
Team Jackson, what's happening? You know what? I look at my inbox every day and I've noticed a common thread, somewhat of a merry-go-round that y'all are on. So right here, right now, this is where that merry-go-round stops. I'm about to give y'all 5 signs so you can recognize these dudes who are only there to waste your time.
His Facebook page showcases the title of his most recent book, Self-Crowned, with the caption, "The answers you want, the support you need, and the celebration you deserve." And that sounds pretty good, right? He seems like my type of guy. I've been accused by more than a few critics in my comments of being fat Derek Jackson or woke Derek Jackson, and that's okay.
Whoa.
I'll hold those. But
I've been commonly referred to as the fat Hassan.
It speaks to a weird situation. Why would I make a video kind of antagonizing him? Some of you already know. This is because his story takes some unfortunate turns and because this video isn't really about Derek Jackson. I know that may seem hard to imagine considering...
Slav Hassan, no. The Turkish people come from the ancient Slavic tribes, okay? We were here first, motherfucker.
The current thumbnail and title, but it's true. Derek Jackson will take some shots in the video, of course, but the goal isn't to further tarnish the name of a now shamed and, relatively speaking, obscure black social media figure. Instead, the goal is to use his story to analyze something bigger, to explain what it was that allowed him to attain relative fame and fortune to be.
My greatest mistake in building the Yugopnik lore is referring to Hassan as the only good Turk. The mistake was twofold. First, calling him a Turk. And second, not calling him the least based Balkan man, okay?
Begin with. I'm not really...
We all know he's Greek. Come on, let's fucking be honest here, okay?
Here to talk about Derek Jackson. The goal of this video is to kind of examine the black gender wars.
Holy shit, the black gender wars. Holy fuck.
But really all the charming things that he did up front, it was never rooted in his character. It was just to emotional cook you.
And the men don't ask the women to talk about how bad y'all are.
Oh, I love this guy. This guy's one of my favorite chuds, man. This guy's one of my favorite fucking chuds. Let's do the Malcolm X aesthetic, but then complain about the women's.
And the women ask the men to talk about how bad you are.
What if you never find a man who will truly love you? You probably won't.
A man is nothing without a woman.
I feel like I've been lied to. If I knew this was about the black gender wars, I would have never clicked to look at my pasty ass. I'm kidding. This is even more interesting now. Okay. Learning more lore. Gender wars. How about you get out of the internet, my dude? Mighty Max 6654, thank you for the 100 cheers. Слушай, можно въпрос? Как ти можеш понимать политику от страни Катаря, не съвсем другом месте на земя? Because my friend will reply in English, because we all are living in America. America ist wunderbar. And ironically, probably know more about American culture than I know about the culture of my own fucking country. And thank you very much to the legend Boss 2 for the sub with Prime. Welcome, my beautiful child soldier. We will eventually be hitting that good old target. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
The black gender wars is a colloquial term loosely used to describe the ongoing conflict between black men and black women that has really been going on in popular black media since we had access to media 70, 80 years ago. I remember all the way back to the early 2000s, seeing black men and black women complain about each other on Black Planet. I remember the vitriolic and toxic behavior and insults that flew across the World Wide Web on dial-up speed in AOL chat rooms and things I really can't remember, but I know it happened. I remember.
Imagine dial-up speed, like waiting for 5 seconds for a fucking incel to call you a bitch. You know, it's loading.
Remember the call-in radio shows where black men and black women would argue with each other about the same 5 topics that they had been doing probably for generations.
Interesting. Maybe I'm just not adjusted enough or educated enough, but it seems fucking possible. Yeah, man. If you do not know anything about American culture, that is very good. Do not change that. If I could get rid of that eternal tumor that is growing in my brain and slowly eating up all other identities that I have in there, I would, okay? I would get one of those fucking sticks going through my nose tomorrow, my friend. Tomorrow, okay? So don't even go there. You don't need it. You don't need it. Speaking of things you do not need, in exactly 1 minute, they're going to be selling you lots and lots of things you do not need, but you will feel like buying. Instead of that, buy a thing that you do need, and that is a sense of support towards a guy screaming into a microphone about how communism is based. Me, myself, and I for $5 a month or for free through Prime, or maybe give it to somebody less privileged than you. Buying more stuff or me feeling better about myself and you feeling better about yourself, the choice is yours. The ad will play in exactly 40 seconds. Thank you very much.
If a woman asks you out, does the man have to pay?
A lot of 8 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s. Thank you very much.
Who do you make a plate for first, your husband or your father? How do you feel about 50-50 dating? But with the advent of social media, regardless of the fact that we've been talking about this same shit for generations, I feel like this genre of discourse has become more toxic and pervasive and kind of concerning in its overall tone. It feels impossible now to escape this type of content on social media. Red balloon popping videos, 20 versus 1 videos, they're everywhere. And they're regularly amassing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. Plus, we have the Alpha Male podcast popping up left and right. People are faking outrageous scenarios to farm outrage clicks on Instagram and TikTok. Risa Tisa, Random Man in Atlanta, femininity coaching. All of these things are everywhere, and that's just like the not so toxic stuff that I want to focus on. I don't even want to get into the ugly shit. It's a plague. It's genuinely a plague. And the funniest thing is, have you ever tried to explain this shit to like normal, healthy people in healthy relationships with healthy social media habits? Have you found yourself struggling to make sense of all the ridiculous characters and colloquial slang and the backstories and grounded theories that you need to explain this nonsense? Do you know your soft life hard wig divester from your passport bro going his own way? If you do,
holy shit, this is so much lore, man. I am so much lore. God, educate this pasty white boy. Thank you very much, Mighty Max 6654 for the 100 bits. But I feel it's good to understand that shit, even though I'm stupid as fuck. No, you're not stupid as fuck, so thank you for the knowledge. No, of course, at least I can do. But there is a good argument to be made that you should engage with American culture, because American culture is, unfortunately at this point, because, cultural imperialism. Everybody's. And what happens in America very deeply will impact your part of the world. Again, unfortunately so. Knowing what the Burgerlandians, the crazy hamburger people are doing is kind of like important. Not because it's interesting or that you should fucking obsess over it, but because it will impact you domestically. And not only like American foreign policy, but whatever discourse is happening in the United States will eventually become the domestic discourse. So you can be the edgy guy at the party that has already talked about this a year before it came to your developing country. Okay?
Into your life.
And you can literally say, I already talked about this back in Burgerland. They talked about this many years ago. This is the hot take that should be taken from it.
Probably not much. Yet we persist. And I'm sure you found yourself in a gender wars rabbit hole. And when it's done, you ask yourself, why was I there in the first place? How has consuming this content helped me or hurt me? How much time is wasted in these spaces talking about relationships by people who are not in relationships? How many times do we really...
Floofers, the amount of Balkan politicians that love to steal shit more from the people ideas from the U.S. is insane. Yeah, dude, they just... Every semi-smart right-winger just looks at what the Republican Party does, and to an extent what the Dems do, and just does the same shit in Poland, in Kazakhstan, in Namibia, in Argentina. Look at Argentina. Argentina just got like an Argentinian Trump. Like literally, he just copied it. He's like, I'm a bit more silly and more ANCAP. You know, haha. It comes to your country eventually. So if you can spot it as it's developing in the far west over the pond, it will be easier for you to spot it in Europe and Africa and Asia, wherever you live. Ferry, whatever happens in the U.S. in U.S. politics happens about 2 years later in Brazil. It's nice to have a little oracle. Exactly.
We need to discuss 50-50 dating.
50-50 finances in relationships is never.
Like I love that like countries that are completely like politicians that are completely irrelevant. For example, the genocide happening in Gaza, holding like hardcore Republican opinions in fucking, I don't know, Croatia or Macedonia, because they want to be part of the culture war. The culture war continuously and eternally gets exported absolutely everywhere, right? And obviously the genocide in Gaza is not a culture war issue, but for a lot of these guys it is. They don't really care about the Israelis or the Palestinians or the war or the murder or genocide in general. They just know that this is going to be the new discourse. And they catch it when the discourse is happening in the U.S. because they know the discourse is going to happen domestically. And realistically, the discourse is what actually gets you elected and your position in the discourse. So that's why I guess it's important. That's my argument. Culture war is a wedge to divide the working class and prevent solidarity in class. Yes, it's of course, my friends.
You're equal. As a woman, you are bringing so much inherent worth and value to the table. Not to mention the large risk you are taking simply by allowing this man to access you.
What are we talking about?
I've been asking these questions for most of my adult life and half of my childhood. And I thought I understood it before, but it wasn't until I started making content myself that I think I really understand it. In fact, I don't think you really can get what's happening if you aren't knowledgeable about how it happens, about how social media works, which some people think they do, but you probably don't. And that's why we're going to start with Derrick Jaxn. If there were ever a black man who does help us understand all sides of this ongoing discourse, it would be him. He's a man that encompasses almost every aspect of why the Black gender wars exist, all in one complex, bizarre story that I think by looking at his story, we maybe won't stop the onslaught of gender wars nonsense, but at least we'll understand it better.
I don't think that has to be gendered, but
it doesn't have to be gendered.
For a woman, for a black woman specifically, when that's not supposed to be possible. And the flip side is the same for me. I'm not supposed to be able to raise, to keep a household on just my work as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not supposed to be able to lean into this, white image of femininity. But
there was structural policy that prevented it for a lot of black women. I think that Shatima Threadcraft speaks about this in Intimate Justice, where, there were labor laws that black women were at home taking care of their households, and the white women, they advocated for black women to have to go to work for them. And if you were seen out leisurely as a black woman, you out here looking like me. It's I don't want none of that.
It's a fucked up gradual thing. Like in a funny way, the boss advocated for white women's access to the workforce because he knew he could pay them less, and he just wanted to exchange the domestic mode of oppression, the patriarchal mode of oppression, with capitalist hierarchy. So yes, you can be more independent in comparison to your husband, but you're going to come work for me, and I'm going to tell you what the fuck to do, and you're going to make me some money. But then when that switched, the white women who now started working, they said, oh, but what about the black women? We need the black women to work for us now, okay? It's just a continuation of hierarchy as it was before, but it just takes one step up. Liberalism.
Like, if we are okay with something, even if it is not popular, even if it's not what everybody's doing, even if it's going to make us show up a little bit different, if we're okay, let's just be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be okay with the truth of it.
As you say that, I think about the fact that we have always been relatively transgressive, right? We're not poly, by the way, because that always comes up. No shade to my poly people.
No.
It's not us. I feel like people look at us being transgressive and like, but then overall, they recognize the quality of our relationship.
Mighty Max 66, it's insane how that dynamic fits the country I'm currently living in so good. You just changed the word black to immigrant. Yeah. Gender issues, ethnic issues, and obviously class issues. They're not a consequence of American culture or Kazakhstani culture. It's capitalism. Sorry to be so simplistic, but sometimes the answer is very simple. And when you have developing capitalism or developed capitalism in a particular country, it just reproduces those hierarchies based on the current ethnic and gender relations in the country. It just reproduces to eternity.
So they're like, whatever it is must be working.
I had a clip from MSNBC, and the brother, the researcher who was talking about it was an economist. And he talked about the high heel effect, right? And the high heel effect is essentially how it is that a number of policies, procedures, things of that nature have been geared towards women in order for women to, once again, engage in equity, inclusion, all of these different things. But if you look at the actual data, all of that shit with the white women, all of it, right? So once again, in the Black community specifically, you all are attempting to emulate it is more so, it's not even a relational, it's an economic dynamic that allows you to relate in this way that we've never had access to.
Right.
So once again, why is this your ideal? Because you believe that it will remove you from scrutiny, and you believe that it will allow you to have a feeling of superiority over other people who do not have this access. It will make you feel as if though your life is actually successful.
Right. It takes the taint of the nigga off. Before we continue, I want to put out a few disclaimers. First, I want to be clear that this video will pretty much only be focused on relationships between straight Black men and straight Black women. For one, those are the primary groups that participate in this discourse, and two, that's what I can speak on with expertise. There are robust conversations around queer conflicts within the Black community and beyond. If you're interested in discussions that center those experiences, I suggest creators like Khadijah and Bo, Urban Revelist, Cat Black, Jade Fox, Philosophy Noir, etc. But that won't be what this is. Also, the core of this video will focus on Black relationship drama and not some of the other uglier aspects of the conflicts that go on between Black men and Black women that are often pulled into gender wars discourse. The gender wars as a concept is very loaded and a problematic term because it implies that there's two sides to this battle, and in reality, that's not a good way of looking at things for the most part. I'm gonna be focusing on the robust world of male and female oriented dating content for Black men and women that drives the gender wars, but there's also the very ugly and rabid world of content dedicated to denigrating, embarrassing, and harming Black women, and a corresponding but much smaller version of the same content against Black men. So if you're looking for me to comment on some of the uglier situations that have happened between Black men and Black women that involve sexual violence, assault, or abuse, and things like that, I'm not really going to touch on that too much. There's already a ton of content discussing those problems and the misogynistic rage bait.
Hello, Hugo. I've been listening for years. Glad to catch a live stream. Thank you very much, and welcome, my friend. I'm glad you found us.
Content that pervades the internet against Black women. I've personally done nearly 10 hours worth of videos on the manosphere that I will leave in the description where I get into stuff like that. And I've also done plenty of videos examining the challenges that Black men face in the world. So I don't want to make that what this is. I want to tread new-ish ground and avoid getting into the darker, more violent stuff, although this will get a little dark. And I also think it's important to remember that those stories get a lot of attention, but they are extremes. And I want to treat them like that in the moment. So with that out of the way, let's jump right in.
And that is extremely important to state, especially to your white audience, which base that he did that, because a lot of people might watch it and through an orientalizing gaze say, "Oh, look at all the crazy gender wars things that the Blacks are doing. Ha ha ha! I am so based."
Part 1, A Star is Born. So if you're normal and healthy and not chronically online in Black social media faces, there's a strong chance you don't know who Derrick Jaxn is or why his story is so interesting. So let's fix that. I am dragging you to hell with me. Derrick Jaxn was born in 1989 to a single mother. As the youngest of several children, I couldn't quite...
But honestly, what is fucked up too, even some immigrants in European countries look down on Black people, even though they are in a similar spot. It's so fucked. It is. I mean, that's what reactionary mentality does to you. If you do not have good old class consciousness, then you need to explain away the problems that plague your existence. And without class consciousness, it has to be the other ethnic group that is fucking me up. But very often, especially immigrants in Europe, want to quote-unquote integrate and become more German, more French, more British, more whatever. So that aspiration to a new domesticated identity, this self-orientalization, quite literally leads them to, how can I be more like the domestic white people, right? The domestic Western white people. Well, let me adjust to their quote-unquote culture. And what is a big part of their culture? Hating the Blacks.
Pin down the amount of people he grew up with, but the key thing is that he was the only boy. Derrick watched his mother struggle to raise her family on her own, and this experience caused him to develop a strong sense of empathy for the realities of Black women and single motherhood in general, in a way. Jaxn attended...
Modern minority gimmick, exactly. Exactly, Farksism.
And at Tuskegee University, where he played football and studied business, but he seemed to have that entrepreneurial spirit, and immediately he leaned into motivational speaking, leadership, and building his platform. And it's hard to say just how quickly he started to make waves, but he quickly started to make waves. The oldest video on his channel is from 2012, and there's no telling like what had been deleted or re-uploaded. I know some of my oldest videos you cannot see. And back then, really, you wanted your stuff not just on YouTube, but Facebook, World Star Hip Hop, the Black Blogosphere, etc. And Derek was regularly going viral in all spaces possible. His earliest content is actually spoken word, which to be honest, should have been everyone's red flag.
People are surprised at her poise and the fact that she's intellectual because she doesn't smack her gum or roll her neck like she was expected to.
In my head, a man that looks like Derek Jackson doing spoken word poetry is likely the devil, but I digress. However, let's not avoid the fact that yes, if you're looking at him, Derek Jackson kind of reminds you of an extra from a Tyler Perry movie, if Tyler Perry wasn't so colorist against black men. Jackson was a former tight end for Tuskegee University, and according to what I could find, is around 6'5", and he's got to be around 230, 250 pounds of mostly lean muscle.
Jesus,
so Jackson was a ready-built fantasy of black masculinity. Not only did he look the part, but he was sensitive and well-spoken, and he seemed to love women, but also present a spirit of leadership and authority. He truly had the total package to be popular.
Floofers, your content honestly it makes me feel slightest bit less doomery seeing there's others from this region that haven't completely given up and succumbed to full-on belief in capitalism is just how it is and will never get anything better anymore, or that have fallen for the propaganda that socialism bad. Yeah, that was my original goal for the show. I mean, I don't want to like continuously, eternally just play, you know, the token Slav or whatever. That's obviously not what you're saying. But yeah, the original goal of what I was doing is basically showing other Central, Eastern, Southern Europeans, also known most of them, obviously not all of them, as Slavs, that hey, there is an alternative to just continuous infighting and external perception of threat as the biggest part of your identity. Basically, hating your neighbor is the ultimate reactionary Slavic mentality, and that actual class consciousness needs to enter the fucking conversation, because it's not the Croat or the Polak or the Serb or the Albanian or the, I don't know, whatever other that is the real problem. It is your fucking boss, man. As simple as that.
Among black women. And eventually, he very much was. And that made his presence online interesting, because here he is talking from his car like many other black early vlog commentary type creators were doing, except a lot of those guys were very, very misogynistic. He's coming up at the same time as many of the earliest bastions of the black manosphere are also beginning to take root. So you have Derek Jackson right next to guys like Sergeant Willie Pete, Tommy Sotomayor, Angry Man, etc., making this highly vitriolic and harmful content about black women and just being the weirdest types of dudes online. And I imagine that he maybe got mixed up in that because the aesthetics are similar. However, despite what the black manosphere tries to say, their community is not growing. The types of men that truly follow and enjoy that type of content are relatively small in number and low in funds. So there's never much growth potential for those figures to really grow. Although, again,
yeah, and they're de facto doomed to fucking failure. You know, they're doing a gimmick. They're doing a fucking gimmick. Haha, look at these stupid women. The only thing that they can potentially harp on in the long term is, let's use the example of the anti-SJW 2016 to 2018 era, right? One could say 2014 to 18, but whatever. If you do it long enough, it returns. So there you go. Fucking clip this and show it in 7 to 9 years is my guess. Exactly this type of format will return. Just like currently in the gamer sphere, brother. Yes, the most oppressed group in the world. We have very much so returned to like, oh my god, all the games are getting woke. Oh, look at the blacks in the games. That is why my games suck. It has literally returned. So the guys that harped on it long term now make the big buck again because they stayed with it. That's the only thing these guys can hope for, basically.
And they did go viral on a lot of occasions. Tommy Sotomayor was everywhere in the 2010s. And this made Jackson, as this lone figure supporting black women, kind of a big deal. If there were a list of A-list social media figures in the mid to late 2010s, he'd have definitely been on that list. And considering the type of image black men were often popularized for having, and for the type of treatment black women got online and often got from black men, this was a good thing, period. It was a good thing to have an image of black masculinity that defied so many negative stereotypes that black women and some black men could look to. But I was always a little suspicious. I was like, you'll see by the end. There was something just a tad off about Derek Jackson and his content and the nature of what he was saying. This vibe check was like really close, but not quite where it needs to be. And initially, like way back then, I kind of chalked this up to my own isms around women and sexism and stuff that I was unpacking at the time. And so I mostly just ignored his content because it wasn't for me anyway. But after a few years of grad school and seeing him continue to grow and getting into gender studies and stuff, it hit me why Jackson wasn't quite right. Although Derrick Jackson was very pro-black woman, Derrick Jackson wasn't really much of a feminist. Now, this in isolation shouldn't be a huge red flag. I don't really refer to myself as a feminist, despite what my content tends to project to the world. And this is not because I have an aversion to feminist theory. I'm a person whose core readings in grad school all hinge around feminist gender studies. But it's because of that reading that I recognize that feminist and feminism are loaded terms for a man to describe himself as. And while I think men that call themselves feminists are probably mostly okay, men who promote themselves and monetize themselves as feminists are very much a mixed bag. And if I have to be honest, probably should not be trusted. So I just personally avoid that altogether and hope that my actions speak for me. But that's still not really describing Derrick Jackson. Derrick Jackson's actions didn't quite fit the mold of what a male feminist really would be, because his rhetoric and advice about relationships, while being pro-woman, was not quite to the point of engaging with real critical analysis of the challenges women face. It all mostly just hinged on helping women understand how to better fit into traditional ideas and frameworks of what relationship and gender should be, of what a real man should be and what a real woman should be. And to me, that didn't...
Which again traps itself in toxic masculinity. The definition, the closest thing we have to the definition of why so-called masculinity currently is in crisis, and I can talk about general masculinity, not in particular like black male masculinity in the United States, is that for so long, you can watch that in one of my fucking videos, for so long, arguably since forever, you defined your masculinity in your treatment of women, and very specifically in your ability to reconnect, join channel. What the fuck is happening with my fucking thing? Okay, it's reconnected. Specifically in the ability to quote unquote take care of a woman, and in return the woman takes care of you. But what has happened with women entering into the workforce is the woman said, no, I can take care of myself. What other things can you bring to the table that aren't just material when it comes to why I should choose to create a partnership with you? And that broke the mold of me being a man equals me being somebody who takes care of woman, and then woman says, oh, thank you very much, big boss. Let me cook and clean and take care of your kids. Now the woman asks for something else, asks for genuine partnership, asks for emotional support, asks for a man's mentality revolving around them actually building an equal future step by step together in the long term, and not just an oppressor-oppressive relation. And because that oppressor-oppressive relation has disappeared ever since the woman has entered the workforce, the very original definitions of what makes you feel like a man, which again is having a family and quote-unquote taking care of them and them listening to you, do we now start talking about so-called crisis of masculinity? But with a little bit of class consciousness, again, not to harp on it, you can get to the root causes of why men can't even take care of themselves, let alone help take care of a family together with a woman in standard cis straight families, right? And that's because everybody's broke as shit. Capitalism, right? And not because the woman now has the ability to take care of herself financially more than she had before. Just as we take social constructs and we either update them or alter them, or very often when it's necessary, evolve out of them and destroy them, when it comes to class hierarchy, when it comes to treatment of, for example, gay people, etc., we must adapt as well when it comes to our relationship to our own masculinity, which is de facto our relationship to women. So what I'm saying is basically go fucking touch grass and get over yourself, and try to redefine who you are in relation to women, which is your masculinity, to be a bit different than your dad's, because you live in a different world than your dad. Very different one. So fucking adapt. I don't know. Stop being so fucking cucked.
sit right. It felt a little too convenient. However, again,
and if you genuinely feeling cucked, you're not getting cucked by the woman now having a bit more independence. You're getting cucked by capitalism. So pick your fucking target better and stop being a reactionary. I won't feel sorry for you. And in the context of what FD Signifier is saying, a lot of dudes that present themselves as being quote-unquote pro-women, whatever that's supposed to mean, is just them thinking that they're pro a particular type of woman, but women have lost their way to being that type of woman. So now it is my job to teach her how to go back to those roots. It's the same thing. Like the guy shouting at you to, bitch, get the fuck back into the kitchen, and just in more polite terms because they genuinely think the woman doesn't know how to return to the kitchen. That's it.
Again, I left it there because very much contradicting everything I just said. I'm going to say something here that might be a bit controversial, but I'm going to die in this hill. For the audience Derrick Jaxn was targeting, the nigga gave good advice.
But if you're treating somebody like they're the only one for you whenever y'all first start off, you're going to continuously waste time trying to teach them how to be right for you when they ain't right for you. And then you're going to get bitter and stay disappointed with your guard up for the next person and possibly miss your blessing. But I've seen women try to take on whatever battle, whatever storm that a dude is going through, they try to take that on themselves. So the biggest asset to you, if you're an empath, is the ability to distinguish between what's involving yourself with and what's not. Not just trying to find somebody who's perfect. But especially when you are trying to get over somebody, whenever you're moving on from somebody, when you just extracted somebody who had became a major part of your life, you do not need to be isolating yourself. There's value in understanding that, yes, I miss him, but I'm still better than what he has to offer. I still deserve more than what he currently has to bring to the table.
I'm sorry, I remember thinking this 10 years ago, and I confirmed it while researching for this video. For the specific demographic of black women with those relatively conservative, churchy upbringings, things we'll talk about a little later, Jaxn genuinely did a great job of illuminating elements of love and relationships that those women likely didn't know enough about and were probably hurting their ability to engage effectively in the dating market. Now, while he was good at that, again, he didn't seem to be interested in thinking bigger about why there were so many single mothers, why so many black men were struggling to maintain gainful employment, why gender roles were constantly in conflict with black life, and it was so hard for black men and women to be real men and women. And he had no interest in critiquing those things or critiquing the status quo as a whole. He just wanted to teach women how to win at the game that was being played. And while I have some criticisms that I'll get to later of that, I can't be mad at that. But it does leave some questions.
Yeah, because he also exists in the system, and it is understandable for him to not be able to see out of it. It's very easy for me to sit here, or FD, or anybody, and be like, bro, get the fucking glass consciousness, brother. Blah, blah, blah. I said it in the context of you chat listening and you growing your own class consciousness, which is kind of the point of what I'm fucking trying to do here in general. But when it comes to talking to people who still haven't reached that, don't like immediately jump at them and be like, dude, how about you don't encourage these norms which have been created through centuries of feudal and capitalist infused patriarchal norms. I mean, all of that is true. All that is true, but you're just saying gibberish words, okay?
Questions like, why is
from the perspective of that person, I mean,
this is the game for black men and women? Why is advice that hinges on upholding traditional roles so prominent among a group of people where those roles are actually very rare? What set Jaxn apart from the Steve Harveys and the Tyler Perrys or even the Kevin Samuelses of the world? All of them also had substantial audiences of black women. Yes, Kevin Samuels, believe it or not, had a huge black female audience. Why is that? Well, I have
Exchange Fire. We are a product of our environment. It takes great effort to deprogram folks. The program folks who've been conditioned under neoliberal capitalistic propaganda all their lives. Exactamo.
Some theories, but first we're gonna have to do a little history and leave Derrick here for quite a while until we get to the last half of the video. Part 2, a real man or real woman would, that's a horrible title. Fuck, I'm gonna have to figure out something else for that. Anyway. There's this great and kind of powerful clip that goes viral every once in a while of a conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. It often gets clipped just for this one section where Nikki is speaking to the desire for her or black women in general to be lied to by their men to create harmony in the home. And I've always been annoyed by this clip, mostly because after seeing the whole thing, I think this clip really undermines the depth of this conversation.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me.
Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. But Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course
All right,
you allow me. I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter?
Throughout this hour-long exchange, both Nikki and James are trying to basically do one thing, which is get the other individual to understand the profound pain that it takes to perform gender appropriately in a black body, especially in America, under white supremacy, under capitalism, and to some extent for both, under patriarchy. And with hindsight, it's really frustrating to watch some of the most brilliant minds in Black American history not quite recognize what they're doing. They both seem to realize how impossible what they're asking is, and yet they keep asking it because neither is willing to part with it. They just can't get away from the traditional roles that they have been taught. It speaks to how deeply ingrained the notion of gender is for Black people, despite the fact that the correct performance of gender by American white-centered standards is all but impossible for us to achieve, and we have forever been barred from every lane needed to achieve those ideal notions of masculinity and femininity in this country. So, brace for another hot take. Gender is a scam. And in saying that, I don't mean it in the way that suggests that everyone should be non-binary and use they, them pronouns, or that concepts like masculine or feminine are fake and should be abolished. I still move through the world as a man for a reason. I think it's a valid reason. What I really mean is that the rules and regulations that we have set up for how we understand and experience and project gender are fake and dumb. And for Black people, they habitually cause us pain. So some of my critics who watch me regularly,
I mean, it wouldn't change so much if it wasn't fucking stupid.
Because I know you're going to see this. This may sound rich because I have a relatively traditional patriarchal household. My wife doesn't work and does majority of the housework while I pay all the bills. All my bills.
Dude, my girlfriend is over there making me fucking beans. Okay. Even though she works and she contributes financially and everything, and I believe we built a proper fucking quote unquote household. But for a lot of things, we do not aspire to, but what term should I use? We accept certain traditional gender norms because they fit our personalities. But before we accepted them, we noticed that they are traditional gender norms. It's very different when you're pushed into accepting traditional gender norms because you do not know of any alternative. And it is another one when you know the alternative and you're like, okay, this fits me. I like to carry heavy stuff. I'm saying bullshit, like extremely cliche shit about cis men and women. I carry heavy stuff and I drive us for 5 hours. She cooks, okay? We both clean. We both rejected, for example, the traditional gender norm of her cleaning and me just sitting there with my feet up. But both are based in looking at what is there and then choosing to accept certain or not.
Hooks and Kimberly Crenshaw reading in grad school, and I still ended up with a trad wife. I'm a fraud, y'all, and I'm sorry. I'm also a secret Republican and a Packers fan. Now, this is obviously not serious, and it doesn't undermine the framework of how progressive politics and belief systems work because they don't expect or require one way of doing things. The whole point of progressive ideology is self-determination.
Marksoft Beast, my wife cooks a lot, and I fix stuff on her car, but we understand that's not our jobs. Exactly. You're doing it because you fucking love your wife, and she's doing it because she fucking likes you. And you're good at this and she's good at that. And you do it. That is one thing, and there's a completely different thing than you telling her, yo, ho, make me some fucking beans right now. She probably heard that in the other room. I'm going to get a fucking ass beating because because she's going to get it out of context.
Nation and the idea that there are a multitude of ways to live and experience life, and people should be allowed to do what works for them. But that's not how Black people, or really anybody in this country, looks at the framing of gender.
Can you grow your hair, or is that too gay? No, man. I'm the future of the gay aesthetic, brother. The future gay will look as close to a 1942 Nazi as you fucking can, brother. The undercut is so back, brother. Taking it back from the fucking fascists, brother. No, this just looks good on me. I would look fucking ridiculous with long hair. Also, long hair is a lot of work. There you go, gender norms, right? I am really livid about the fact that cis men with short hair is the standard as the traditional gender norm, because it literally allows me to have the simplest fucking haircut on planet Earth. Well, my girlfriend, unfortunately, doesn't because of traditional gender norms that she needs to have long hair. Yeah.
We assume that gender is blank and should be blank. And if you are not blank, whatever that ideal is, then you're not doing gender properly and something must be wrong with you. And this is really fucking stupid because Nobody is performing gender in the way that TV and
Chief Pepin, yeah, I'm a dude and cooked professionally for over 10 years. And one of my favorite things to do was cooking for people I've been in relationships with. Absolutely. But tell me if you've ever been in a situation, maybe you haven't, but I'm sure a lot of, for example, men that like to cook were in a relationship with a woman who herself has embraced traditional gender norms when it comes to cooking much more than you have, and will literally push you out of the kitchen because that's what she identifies as, quote unquote, taking care of you as a woman. And it often comes with an increased expectation for you to deliver financially or in muscles, etc., etc. So it can happen the other way around. And it does. It absolutely fucking does.
Media and our history books tell us we're supposed to. Yes, right now, because I am a wealthy, famous YouTuber, my wife does not have to work. However, up until a couple of years ago, my wife made more money than me. And we had a 50-50 egalitarian household where she did half of the cooking, cleaning.
I cook food because I like to eat. Yeah, and you're fucking single. Yeah.
Childcare, and I did half of the cooking, cleaning, and childcare. And we did that because that's what actually worked for us. And there was really never any tension or issues between us when it came to how we lived our lives. And anybody that may have had a negative thing to think about how transgressive we were in having that egalitarian household definitely didn't say shit to our face.
Because one criticism I get consistently, bad faith criticism, but it's one that happens enough, is that I'm some type of like domineering, monstrous patriarch in the home while doing all of the feminisms online. The dynamic we have now is new and not the norm. But at no point in our relationship, including now, has there ever been a your money, my money dynamic.
No, so when we were getting ready to get married, right? Started to make like future plans. Like, this is it. We're going to be each other's person. We started to combine finances even then. Now, I'm not necessarily advocating for that. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but that goes back to how relationships are customizable, right? And so for us, it worked, and we always pulled our money together, right? Now, no one lost their own account and all that kind of stuff. No one lost access to any money that they earned, but we had the understanding that what we earned was going to go toward building this life that we wanted together.
Right.
But the big thing is, we were very in step with the life we wanted.
Yeah.
And we were very vocal when maybe you took a turn or I took a turn. It was like, and then I was kind of thinking we would go this way. And I think that's what helped us build the confidence to know, like, okay, we can trust each other in that way.
Yeah. The one thing that 9 times out of 10 is contributing to the communication issues in a relationship is gender role expectations. Genuinely, right?
Yeah.
And if both parties are working in the household,
and literally the fix is just addressing them. Like, that's it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You start a relationship and, oh my God, she starts cooking for you all the time. All the time. And you know what's going on in her head. Is she doing that because she thinks that's what's expected of her? Or because she really likes doing it? So you just address it and you tell her, yo, my man, my woman, whatever. Are you cooking because you think that's what I'm expecting of you? Or if that's how you want to contribute to the partnership that we are building? Oh, I hate cooking, but I'm cooking because I think that's what is expected. Okay, let's address that. Let's cook 50-50. Or if I really like cooking, I'm going to cook. That's it. That's literally it. That's it. That's it. Welcome to my TED Talk. That's it.
The conversation tends to float around, well, why am I not being treated in this way? And why are you not engaging in this way as it relates to, once again, the division of household labor? So in any respect, right, what I recognize is that the 50-50 conversation is usually a conversation where
Talk to my wife sounds gay. Agreed. It is very gay. It is very gay. I'm telling you to all become gay. You're going to have great straight relationships. The gayer you are in your straight relationship, the better it's going to go.
two people who do not have the access to this quote unquote ideal socioeconomic strata where they're able to perform these gender roles, depending upon how much they've internalized these gender roles, it is correlated to the amount of discomfort that they're going to experience in these spaces. So in other words, you feel like less of a woman because your man don't parade you around out of town and doing X, Y, so you're not able to be in your feminine. You feel like less of a man because you're not able to do any of these things. Why is it that the two of you have internalized these concepts and these conceptualizations as the only way that you can be as an individual, as a person.
Talking about internalization, you have internalized in your soul that you are not a sub and that you have to watch ads. But being a good dialectical materialist must lead you to question that and not watch the ad that is going to start in exactly 1 minute and 45 seconds. Question your brainwashing of being an unbased ad watcher by becoming a sub for $5 a month or for free through Prime. Let's go. Ad will play in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Or gift it to someone, of course.
It's foolish, right? You are arguing over home economics, and economics literally is the way in which you keep a house. Like that's what the word economics means. But that requires a discussion, that requires a negotiation, and that requires both of you all to contribute.
This is my 9/11. I got you with that one, didn't I?
Something. So either way, if your 50 is financial and your 50 is labor, that's still 50-50.
It's still 50-50. That's real.
But ads are a contradiction that needs to be solved with a simple $5 or free through Prime subscription. We are real Marxists here, okay?
Here's the thing. When you do a little research, you realize that our dynamic is not so odd in this country, both now and historically. A Pew Research study from 2017 shows that only 23% of married households feature a husband as the sole breadwinner, a number that I guarantee you is lower in 2024 after COVID, and a number that has shrunk steadily since the 70s. But guess how many people do you think were living in a household where a man was the sole breadwinner in the 70s? You know, the good old days.
And they still expect you,
Wonderful,
the woman,
a new child soldier,
to do the same shit
subscriber.
as before, even though they are no longer the sole breadwinner, which is fucking hilarious. Thank you very much, Freya, for the sub with Prime. Welcome to the community, my friend, my beautiful child soldier of the future Gooner state of Israel. I gotta freak out the new people, man, by talking about Israel. And thank you very much to Mighty Max for the continuous support and the gifted sub, 13th gifted sub. Thank you very much, my friend.
When men were men and women knew their place. 75.
We're addressing the dichotomy of the advertisement guy, advertiser watcher, or the sub.
5%, 65%? No, 49%. So 50 years ago, when many of y'all parents were born, i.e. the children of your grandparents, only half of them were born into traditional patriarchal households. Most of them were born into homes where both parents worked. So why the fuck do we keep having this conversation, and do people keep getting away with saying stupid. Modern women or modern men don't want to be men or women anymore?
Because it's not catching up. As I've said previously, your idea of masculinity, being the sole breadwinner, is not catching up to the fact that you are no longer the sole breadwinner. So my boy, stop making you being the sole breadwinner into half of your fucking identity, because you literally can't afford to make it your identity, because you can't do it even if you wanted to. Even if your wife wanted you to be the sole breadwinner, you can't do it. So stop fucking obsessing it over so much. It's the same like obsessing over why don't I have a fucking 700-foot yacht? Why don't I have it? Because you can't fucking afford it. You can't fucking afford the chicken wings, dude. Like, so stop making having a yacht or being the sole breadwinner of your family so that she respects you and makes you a fucking sandwich such a big part of your goddamn identity as well.
When was that ever actually a thing, except for in people's fantasies and propaganda around how gender is supposed to work? It really is shocking that there are people making content in 2024 about some bullshit that didn't even exist in 1974, yet we're still arguing about it in comment sections and with response videos and on TikTok and all those things. And it gets even more confusing when you add that racial aspect, because that 49% and 23% is all American men. So you can rest assured that those numbers drastically decrease explicitly for black men, because historically black men have always been excluded from all forms of well-paid labor or the tools needed to pursue well-paid labor. And because of this, black households have since Reconstruction always been predominantly non-traditional. Historically, black women have always worked and black men have always participated in home chores at higher levels than their white counterparts, though not nearly enough if you pay attention to your grandmothers and great-grandmothers. And I think this is partially what Nika Giovanni is getting at watching her mother slave away in her home in order to fulfill a patriarchal role of a woman. When I say gender is a scam, I think a lot of people are going to look at that as a radical hot take from the...
How to go about it if you are the breadwinner for real and she can have everything she wants. Yeah, if you address the traditional gender norms, quote unquote, fancy words for, if you actually ask her, yo, do you want to like me to make all the money and you chill and maybe take care of the house because you want to, or are you doing it because you think you have to? Just ask that question and let her deliberate with herself on that question. And depending on the answer, you will both choose the type of life you want to live. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Super left FD signifier and all his leftist liberal stuff, but I think you already agree with me. I
do. And unfortunately, we will have to finish this video next time because I have to go and apply myself to traditional gender norms and watch a movie, probably with the girlfriend, because she's been hitting that door really hard, saying, come and fucking eat, you goddamn degenerate. That is why I stream at earlier times now. Exactly, like 7 hours before, like earlier in your time zone from this current stream. That is when I usually stream. So see you next week, most likely on a good old Tuesday. I'm going to try to make up for only 2 streams this week by streaming 4 times next week. And I will have to say bye-bye today. Thank you very much, as always, especially to all the beautiful subs and even more to the sub gifters. Thank you very much to everybody who followed. I can't believe we'll reach 13,000 motherfucking followers, okay? That's literally more people than the town I was born in, which is fucking wild to me. And thank you very much to my mods who are fucking ridiculously cool. And go check out Ugopnik Live on YouTube. That is what you need to go and check out because that's where the highlights are uploaded. Whenever you miss one of these streams, if you haven't clicked follow, fucking click that button right now before I come over there and teach you about some traditional gender norms by beating your head in. I'm kidding. Twitch, TOS, please don't fucking castrate me for this. Okay, now I'm going to send you beautiful 350 motherfuckers over to Hassan because I think he hosted me today while he was late. So he gets to have you beautiful 350 guys right back. Go say hello. Our community might be small, but it's as long as you motherfucking can imagine. Thanks again to the subs, to the follows, and to the mods. Go and have some fun. Send my love. Show just how big you are. And see you very soon. Join the Discord if you want to see the schedules or check Twitch to see the schedules. Most likely next Tuesday. Bye-bye. Love you. Mwah.